D&D thing. When last we left our heroes, after having defeated a tree ant, the party went in search of their missing member, Sarah the fairy. Having escaped from the bag that they had shoved her in with a magical orb, Sarah fell to the ground carefully and met up with a priestess of the Raven Queen by the name of Sheenak. After a slight interaction with her, finding where she could find the rest of her party, they all met up back within Grumsh's Haven, within the Water Tree Tavern. Uh, Curious as to the disappearance of this orb, they traveled back to Sheenak in order to get more answers, as she seems to be mysterious and more in the know than pretty much everyone else in the party. And that is where we had left off before she ushered them into her small sanctuary. To set the scene, the hut is probably about 10 to 15 feet tall at its apex. It is a dome-shaped kind of wigwam ensemble with a series of branches and skulls and bones woven into it. Inside, there is a very soft light of candles as they peek out from various places within it, most of it cast into shadow. For those of you who have dark vision, those being Dougie, Bob, and Bionic/Colin, the room is cast into slight pockets of dark gray and visible light. For those of you who don't, it's dark in here and there's candlelight.
I got candles.
Yay. There is to Sarah at least, the familiar table at which Sheenak has sat at before, and she kind of takes a small fold-out table and puts it kind of in the center, and she gathers some things, puts on there, stands behind it. She's almost as tall as Dougie, so pretty much gargantuan to Sarah, and almost twice the height of no, not twice the height, a little taller than John and Bob, and a lot taller than Hatter.
A little bit taller, yeah.
I'm not the shortest here. Woohoo!
Yay!
Sarah's a
well,
fairy.
She's 10 inches. 15 So Sheenak looks at you with her very stark-looking white tattoos on her face, and so says, "What is it that you would like to know?"
Dougie.
Is this to anyone? Oh.
She looks at the entire party.
What do we
I'd
want
like
to know?
I nudged Dougie.
Sarah wanted to know something. What did she
Go
want?
Yeah,
Sarah.
I'd like to know more about the orb.
An orb, perhaps, and you see her hands move in a kind of swirling pattern, and you see a pretty good facsimile of the orb that you guys have been sent to retrieve. Just kind of appear in front of her. It says, perhaps this orb.
It looks
And then
like
she
that.
wait-
That looks like the one.
Yes. Well, she places her hands flat on the table, and there seems to be like this mist starts to creep in along the ground and begins to swirl around the insides of the hut. He says, "Well, let us see what we can find out about it." And as you see this, there seems to be the light that emanates from Sarah's eyes a little bit kind of flares up a bit, and Sheenak's eyes begin emitting this very soft white light, enough to look like her eyes are just like little light bulbs inside. And the mist starts swirling faster and faster, and she says, "It is old magic. Perhaps you should ask one from the ancient times about it. Deep within the heart of the dark forest, your answer lies, and in such a place, there are dangers. There's also those who are looking for it, looking for means, looking for the ends of this orb. Be wary of these people. You may encounter them on your journey." And then everything kind of calms down, and she says, Do you wish to know more?
Yes, please.
Seek out the Bone Lord. He lies within his fortress of stone, deep in the heart of the dark forest. His ways are old, but his knowledge vast. He holds the answers you seek, but he may not give them unless you are meek. And then she kind of slouches just a little bit as if it's taken a lot out of her. She says, please, only one more question. This does tire me.
I'm contemplating turning my work pants into a pair of shorts, but I'm not sure if the weather's gonna break
No,
next
don't
week or
answer
not.
that one.
What time is it? What time is it?
It is probably getting in
Oh
towards...
no, I was asking her.
No, that's the
Oh.
question. 1:15 a freckle.
Ah, she says it is currently mid-afternoon.
Do we know where this place is?
Yeah, we know.
It's in the Dark Forest.
It's in Dark
It's
Forest.
north
Bone
of
Lord.
north of where we are in the Red Circle.
Technically, you guys are on the very edge of the Dark Forest. For those of you who wish to know, please roll me a history check, which should be in the box next to the random numbers on the left-hand side in the skills. It should be alphabetically set up.
Do we all do that, do we?
If you wish to try, yes.
Skills.
I don't think you're gonna
Mine-
get much out of me, but
No, mine's... Is that like... Mine's naught.
yeah,
Yes.
same.
Oh,
You said roll
Where,
it.
where's skills? They are. Where's it? What's the number?
Okay.
underage.
3 times.
Huh? What are we looking for?
History.
History.
Oh, -2. I won't bother then.
Sorry.
Johnny, wow. That's a lot of feedback. Okay.
The chat didn't update, so I pressed it a few more.
Oh yeah.
We'll go
Oh.
for the big one, 2019. Is that right? I'll go for the first one.
Yeah. All right.
four-
Generally you take the number on the left-hand side first because it rolls it with advantage or disadvantage, which hasn't really come into play yet.
It's cold enough.
All right.
I'll just stack in the fridges. If you want it in the fridge.
Between Hatter and Mandrake Stonebreakers rolls,
Cold enough.
you know that there are rumors and mythologies of deep within the heart of the Dark Forest a massive stone tower. And by massive, it's probably about 20 to 30 feet tall, which compared to most other things outside of Agon and Prem are pretty big. Especially since it seems to not have aged the entire 200 years or so people have known about it. People say that this is the residence of a mysterious creature known as the Bone Lord, and that his followers are the ones who live within the Dark Forest for the most part, and that it is his domain, and this is where he rules from. And it's generally considered to be in the center of the Dark Forest, although all the roads are said to lead to it if you follow the roads within the Dark Forest, which are highly recommended as it gets quite dense within there. The small amount of time it took for you to find a path through the Dark Forest was almost as if twilight was the constant state of day, and it only seems to get darker.
Is that actually the tower on the map, or is that just?
Yes,
that
that is
true?
actually the tower on the map, right about.
Yeah.
So we just make a beeline for it.
Yeah. Let's hit the road, find the trail, and find the Bone Lord.
Okay.
The Lord of Boning.
Yeah. All right, so you guys are going in deeper into the Dark Forest, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, we're heading towards it. You happy
Uh,
with that, Sarah?
Yeah.
Cool.
Are we going to have light again? Is it dark? Well, I was going to say, is it dark in the forest, but it's called the Dark Forest.
Yes, if I remember correctly, last time you guys had pulled out a couple of torches, and also Sarah emits a small amount of light in a very narrow pathway, so she's like a very weak flashlight.
We'll put her up front then.
Does one of us have to hold Sarah like a torch?
No, it just
No.
emanates. It
Flies.
just emanates from her eyes.
Just gotta keep our eyes open constantly.
I don't know.
No
It
blinking.
sounds like it would be more useful to hold her like a torch.
Don't blink. But no, yeah. It's quite easy for you to see, especially those of you who have dark vision. It goes, you can see for 60 feet with dark vision, if I remember correctly, but it's kind of like the really bright lights seem to dampen a little bit within the dark forest. So at best you get low light. And so it's kind of very similar to how it was lit within Shinak's hut, but only on a slightly larger scale. You can easily see 15 feet ahead of you, and maybe out to 20 if you don't have low light vision. So it's not like you are not searching throughout this place trying to figure out by touch where things are.
Alright, cool.
Well, let us depart, I think.
You find one of the major roads in the dark forest. It's very easy. Everyone kind of knows about these things. It's like a highway. The trees are completely dense on either side. Some of them are so close together it'd be hard enough for Sarah to fit through, even at her diminutive size. Other ways have like deer trails and other things branching off from the main path. And as you walk, I need a perception check from all of you.
Perception.
Okay.
I clearly can't do that.
Oh, is your thing not loaded?
No,
Ah.
Oh. Well.
I've tried like 5 different times.
Oh. Okay, well I will cook it for you then.
Thanks, sorry. I'm trying
No,
to
it's fine. Okay. So 13, that's performance. Dougie, we need perception.
Oh, balls.
Very perceptive of you, Dougie.
Here's a sentence no one's ever said.
Oof.
We're
Okay.
gonna kill each other in before the night's
get
out.
All right, so Sarah, you rolled a 16, which is pretty good.
Okay.
Everyone else rolled 10 or under. So for you, for most people, it's especially for Dougie, it's like this is a dark forest. It's a forest.
Oh,
So
John
Sarah,
Bob's in there with a 20.
yeah. So Mandrake, Stonebreaker, and Sarah, you think you hear something kind of following you in the forest.
What does it sound like?
It sounds like very heavy movement. It sounds like very long strides, and like something is dragging something.
Too creepy.
Does that sound like a tree moving? How do we have to ask for that, or do we have to roll
it
something?
doesn't. Well, to Mandrake and to Sarah, it sounds like a very large man. And it sounds like something is being dragged through the leaves, because as you notice, there are the entire bottom of the dark forest, except for on the road, is completely covered with what looks like dead leaves. And they're starting to kind of encroach on the road a little bit. Like the road used to be really well paved, and then it just fell into disrepair to the point that it is a dirt track that is flat and starting to slowly be reclaimed by the forest.
So I think we should turn back.
This is the driveway up to 86s.
So,
We-
you say it looks like leaves.
He's right. Damn it.
So Trent,
I said
you say
we-
it looks like leaves.
I said it looks like dry leaves. Yes.
Okay, so can I try and have a look at the leaves to work out
Yeah,
what
could
they
we do
are?
like a investigation check or something?
Yes, it is
See
actually
what's
an
going on.
investigation check.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Teacher's pet.
Who's got
Ready.
the highest investigation? I've only got 2.
If you want to know, you would have to do the roll.
Okay,
And
I'll do the roll.
just if you have a negative or a positive or no bonus at all, don't be afraid to exercise the skill.
Give it a go.
It's leaves. They look like you've seen the
Yes!
fall
Alright.
on the
I knew
surface.
it.
You've seen fall or autumn on the surface, and this looks like, to the best of your ability, this looks like dead leaves. There's just a bunch of dead leaves here.
Okay, I put my axe back in my pocket and
Some
keep
fine
on.
Yeah.
investigating.
Way to go, guys.
So hey guys, it's just leaves.
So we should actually, confront the actual threat rather than the leaves, right?
Well,
Do you,
we're not
do
going after
you
the
know
leaves.
it's a threat or not?
Unless you want to go look at the trees.
We could set the
Are
forest
they
on fire.
really trees?
Are the
Maybe we
leaves
should
dry?
investigate.
We could set them on fire.
That's a good idea, Dougie. Let's burn the forest down.
It won't be dark no more.
Are you
Um,
just
Try not to fly away.
I'm messing.
Could we roll? Could we roll an investigation to see what the sound was?
I would say you can do another perception check to see if you can really pinpoint the sound.
All right, let's all do a perception check again.
All of us, or just you?
Probably you, John, Bob, because you've got
My
pretty
perception is
good
minus
perception.
1.
Yeah, I've got
Okay, is that okay,
perception of
Trent? Can
one.
I do a perception check?
You could make, if you were really interested to see if you could really figure out what it is, you can make another perception check.
Ooh.
Okay. Not much more than you figure out, but like when you stop, it stops. It's definitely something that's keeping an eye on you. You just don't know what it is.
Oh shit!
Okay, I slipped my javelin into one hand and my axe into the other.
Not again.
We'll keep on walking.
Is it Sandy?
No.
And then I whisper a few words to the Baron.
Can I get close to it with sneak or something? Or
You
do I
could
not
go
know where
off
it's
into.
coming from?
You could go off of the path into the dark forest. Yes.
I know, we don't want you to. We'll stick
Can I
together.
grab him
Stick
and drag
together.
him back?
If you see him going off in the forest, you can cause him to stop.
What's insight?
All right, let's keep
Insight
walking.
is
until
figuring out if people are like either lying or if they're up front with you.
Okay, well,
That is pretty much your bullcrap meter.
I'll just go with whatever it does. I'll bring up the rear.
Okay.
Let's keep going, but kind of play it. Let's go slow, just in case.
If we all tap dance down the road, will he do the same?
You can always try.
Okay.
It's like we're tap dancing.
Okay, so do you all start tap dancing?
I don't know that meaning of dance.
River dance, sorry.
So stuff like playing instruments and dancing and things like that fall underneath performance checks. But I won't cause you to do that. So I'll just say that all of a sudden you see Dongle and you see Hatter and and whoever else wants to join. You just start tap dancing. And for those of you who are still listening, there doesn't seem to be any answering tap dance. Just the slow, heavy movements that have been following you before,
Okay. And that dragging noise.
and the dragging noise. Yes.
How do we know what it's dragging? We can't see it. We just stand
Well,
ahead of it.
We can't see it. It's not going to be good.
Let's just get to the tower.
Yeah, let's just.
Yes, swiftly
ignore it and
move.
keep going.
We'll just beetle on quickly.
Go faster.
Fun tap dancing. Tap faster, guys.
No,
Jazz hands, everybody. Jazz hands.
Brave the Robin.
As you make your way deeper and deeper, it seems that for those of you who have listened before, it seems like at some points the noise that is following you stops and then it's quiet for a long time, and then it starts up at a different point in the path. And you've been walking probably 40, 50 minutes since you last noticed it.
Oh
And for
shit.
those of you who are from the best you can probably glean is that something's handing off following you to something else.
Ooh,
Yeah.
ninjas.
Well, the
We're probably walking straight to its house in the tower. It's probably where it lives.
They're
Yeah,
doing like
maybe
a
it's like
relay.
it's the Bone Lord's spotters, I guess.
How long does me becoming full last?
You hang on, let me check out what it is for your invisibility spell.
What's that sound that goes with it?
that's what sound he has to make every
Alright.
time he changes.
You can cast the invisibility spell, which we shall go over to your spells list. And invisibility. Let's just bring that up right there. A
Well, I
creature
was
you
saying it
touch.
enlarge.
Oh, enlarge. That lasts, if I remember correctly, from 5 to 10 minutes. I can just do the enlarge one as well. Oof, enlarge. It lasts for 1 minute. So you go from medium to large, and you
'Cause I was
add
gonna
extra
say that
damage.
I was gonna say I could get tall and then look like I could see above the trees.
Oh no, these trees, you would go from about 4 foot to 8 foot, and the trees are much taller than that.
Oh, never mind then.
To the point that at some points you look up and it doesn't really seem like you can see through the tree canopy in some parts.
Can I start cutting down trees?
You could.
Why on earth would you do that?
Yeah, well, you guys really hate this forest. Dougie wants to
No,
burn
it's
it.
so that, it's so that
Jump
there's
up and sit,
nothing, there's
knock
no
it
way to
down.
hide.
There's literally in a 5-foot square, sometimes 2 to 3 trees.
Okay, tell you what, let's just keep walking.
Yeah.
Today's
Yeah.
episode is sponsored
To
by
give
Sham.
you something of an idea of what you guys are walking through, but with a little bit more light, I'm going to bring you over to a different.
Ooh.
It looks something like this, but much more organic looking because I had really nothing else I could do with this. Damn it, that thing didn't save.
I can never remember which one's mine.
You're the one who looks like he's holding a giant bodkin. And he's red. He's this one. Right about there.
See what you're talking about, but I can't.
That one.
It should appear on stream soon enough.
Oh, there we
Welcome
are.
back, Callum.
I'm giving up on trying to get Roll20 to load because obviously.
That's completely fine.
Okay.
Trent can do your rolls for you.
Oh yes.
We need light in front of us, do we first?
Well, we
And
can see in the
who's
dark.
got good-
We're going
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You go in front.
and
As we push
Mo-
you in front of us and say, "Go ahead."
Sarah's in front as well. She's got the light coming out of her eyes.
If I remember correctly, one of you had a torch or something.
I thought we all have, haven't we?
So you would have to be holding a torch in one hand, and it would be kind of shedding ambient light. And I realize I'm going to have to at least level you guys up once in this adventure, and like add more spells to your spell list. Oh, fantastic! That's going to be fun.
I don't have a torch. Damn it.
Where's the
Okay.
torch? Where's the torch?
I can just say that you really just have one.
Okay.
It's just kind of a point of order thing, and it'll take up one of your hands. It's nothing terrible.
Well, I've got one hand free anyway. John Wall's got both hands. He's got his.
I think I've got Sarah in my pocket.
Hang on,
No.
I'll sit in your shoulder, Dougie, and I'll hold the torch. There you got 2 free hands. And I don't have to walk.
That's the real reason.
Welcome back, Cal.
Hey, Callum.
Are we in the forest? Oh no.
Yeah, we're on the path.
No, I
Mhm.
said it's Callum in the forest.
It was Callum in the trees all along.
Yeah.
walking?
About what?
Can we keep walking?
Yeah.
About 20 to 30 feet ahead of you, you see there's a man standing in the middle of the road.
Scary.
Approach.
Can I throw an axe at him?
Oh god.
Ostensibly, you could.
No.
Okay, I would like to do an
Where-
axe throw.
he hasn't.
That's-
I can't. He hasn't.
hang
He hasn't
on,
arrived.
hang on.
He hasn't. We can't see him yet. Is he there?
Yeah, they said that we can see him.
Oh,
You
no.
can see him, and
we don't know
you
what
see
he's
that
made
he's
of.
just kind.
Be
All
made
right.
bone
You just see that
stone.
he's just kind of there waiting for you, and he kind of raises his hand in
Okay.
greeting.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna throw my axe, but I'm gonna hold it above my head.
This is a very casual
Yeah.
Greeting.
Hey, what's up?
Hello, I
Just so
am.
he knows. Just so he knows what kind of situation he's in.
Hello, I am Dongle the Wizard. How are you? Who are you?
I am fine. I'm
Hi,
wondering
fine.
what you're doing here.
Nice.
May I help you? And you see that he's got a similar kind of tattooing job that Sheenak had, only instead of very intricate raven feathers, it is kind of skull-like, and it goes
Oh.
into his beard, and his head is shaved.
Bone
And he's just
Lord?
wearing
Is that
he's
you?
just wearing a set of like dark traveling clothes, very very brown, very utilitarian, like a woodsman might use.
We should tell him that we're,
We're
And
running an
Trent-
errand for Sheenak.
Ah, Sheenak,
Yeah.
how is she?
She is fine. Lovely lady.
Very.
We're she told us the Bone Lord is this way,
We're heading.
Ah,
so we're trying to find him.
you're going to see the Bone Lord. Well, allow me to escort you. You don't know what's in these forests.
It's very kind of you.
Thank you.
Is it a trap?
Follow me. I would not suggest going off the path.
Who's
Angers
that?
the forest.
Okay.
And he just kind of turns on his heel and begins walking.
So we following him.
yeah.
Right.
I'm keeping my axe above my head.
No,
You're
Just
gonna
in
get tired.
I've got very strong forearms.
it's from all the fapping.
This is a fantasy game. That doesn't happen.
Yes. All right. So
Continue.
he with following this man, you don't really hear any movement in the forests anymore. And it's probably another 20 minutes, and you come out into this opening, and it's actually kind of bright here, despite the fact that it is going on toward dinner time. There's still kind of that nice ambient amount of light, and you see this very dark tower. It's very weathered. The stone has become almost black, like a lot of the castles you'll see today. And it is just what we would know as a keep. It's probably about 40 feet across and extends 30 feet in the air, and it has arrow ports in it, and there is just a gaping hole where the door should be.
Yeah.
And if you look at it, just like you walk up to it, and as you kind of circle it just a little bit, it kind of looks like a face with the doors and the eye and the arrow slits.
Cool.
Another investigation roll.
Oh. The bone face.
Can I ask this guy who's helping us if he was he following us all this time? Was he in the woods with us?
Oh no, I was not following you. I had received word that people had come into the forest, and I wanted to greet you and to see what your business was. And seeing as it is dealing with the Bone Lord, well, it is better to expedite the process rather than let you flounder around in the forest.
Can I use insight?
Very,
on
very
this guy?
kind of you.
Maybe
You
light-
may put in insight check if you wish. He seems very genuine as to just like, I want to make sure the people who are in the forest get here, get their job done.
And
He
leave.
yeah, kind of like, it's like, okay. You get the sense from the way he's kind of dressed that he is probably one of the Bone Lord's subjects. He might be something like what would be the equivalent of like a town's guard or a woodsman for him. That's just like keeping watch over the land. And it's just like, okay, we'll get the people here who aren't normally here safely in and out, and I can go about my business. Is kind of the feel that you're getting from this guy.
do a
I'd like to
sneak
ask him something.
Okay.
May we speak with the Bone Lord?
Well, yes. You may speak to the Bone Lord, and he kind of smiles at the small fairy who's asking this, because your voice is probably super tiny.
Oh,
And
Just kidding.
he says, "You have given permission to enter the tower. Follow the stairs down."
Go down. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. And he just kind of steps to the side and watches you as you do something.
We go into the tower. We go down.
Okay, so you go inside. Well, I'm assuming everyone's going to be following Sarah, yes?
Yeah.
That other going shopping.
Have you got a change of screen?
No, I don't have a map for this.
I'm gonna have a closer look at these leaves.
Yeah. Looks at the
Yeah.
stones at the rocks. Investigate.
Yeah, this is a stone. It's a rock.
Yes, I see that this floor is made out of floor. Oh man, failures on stuff like investigation can be some of the most fun a DM can have.
Yeah, it was great.
Inside, there's not like a lot of there's no torches that you can see within the tower. There is the light coming in from outside, and you can see that kind of at the back, there's just the start to spiral down into the ground, and there's a corresponding spiral going up to a wooden floor about 10 feet above you, if not higher.
Do you want to go
If
up?
I know Dark Souls, up is probably a shortcut.
So does Johnny Bob.
What am I? Sorry.
But you'd know that going up is a
Shortcut.
shortcut. If it was Dark Souls.
Yes.
Okay. We shall go up.
Which way did the? Although he didn't tell us which way the Bone Lord was.
He didn't. He just left us
I did.
with the door open.
I thought he said downstairs. Or...
You
They
said
did.
downstairs.
Downstairs.
That's
Oh,
where
Oh yeah,
let's go down then.
Okay, so you start to make your way. Now these stairs they're not like normal width. They're probably about double the size of any of the stairs that you've ever encountered in Groomsh's Haven and some of the other places. These are double wides. And as you go down, you notice that the headspace above you is significant. Like, if I remember correctly, Dougie's character is about 6 foot. There's a good 3 feet above that.
This guy's
He's
going to
probably a
be
big
huge.
man.
And so you make your way down, maybe about 5 minutes of walking down the staircase, and you come, and it opens up into this gallery. And there's torches, there's braziers, there's chandeliers hanging in certain places, and it kind of is not enough light to fully dispel the darkness in this area, but you can still see for quite some distance. There's just pools of darkness, and at the end, facing the door, about maybe 100 feet away from you, there is this large stone chair set up on steps, and you see this shape sitting in it.
I'm gonna throw my javelin at it.
No!
Alright, I'll approach.
Can I throw Sarah at it?
No! Oh shit.
Wait, can I be reminded? Is the Bone Lord good or bad?
We don't
Depends
know
if you
yet,
throw
I
your
guess,
axe
but he's
at it
got,
or not.
he's got information we need.
Yeah. Well, can we ask him a
Hopefully.
question before we get javelin flinging?
We say hello to him first to see if it's him.
Hello.
Okay,
Hello.
Can I aim an axe to hit the next to his head?
No.
You could.
I'm gonna nick that axe off you and
Yeah, I think we need to.
Can we leave Jonah Bob outside?
Is there a role for that?
Yeah, Jonah Bob, go check out those leaves we were looking at earlier.
Okay, I go
Come back
outside
to
to investigate the leaf.
John Bob leaves.
He's
I'm investigating
We're
the leaf.
approaching the Bone Lord.
You investigate upstairs. How about that?
Okay, so John Bob's character just goes back outside, and you notice that while it looks like piles of dried leaves, they actually seem to be living plants that just look like piles of dried leaves.
Oh Christ!
Holy shit, that's incredible.
John Bob could be in trouble.
That's fascinating.
Yeah, I actually really enjoyed building the world for the dark forest. So you approach the Bone Lord, yes, Sarah?
Yes, sir.
Okay, as you get closer, the chair gets bigger and bigger and
They
bigger.
hear me upstairs going, ah!
Just the chair.
No, and the figure inside the chair is as well. This is a huge seat, and you see in repose is this large skeleton missing its lower jaw. There's this kind of wrap that goes on top of his head like a cloak, and it goes to where its shoulders are, and it kind of swooshes down one side, and you see that there is a crown on top of it. It's very iron in nature, and it has 7 spikes on the front that go up in little piercing steeples, and with a solid red gem, not very ruby-like, but more like I want to say it's carnelian, but it's more of like a solid, the equivalent of like a red turquoise, sitting in the headband.
He's not wearing ruby slippers though.
No, he's not wearing ruby slippers. He's not even wearing shoes.
He's not going to be able to talk to us either without a lower jaw, is he?
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
Unless you can do
As you get,
to telepathy.
as you get about 10 to 20 feet away from the throne, the skeleton sits up straighter, and you see these bright blue light emanate from within its empty eye sockets, and you get the sense that with the variations within the light itself, that it looks like an eye within each socket, and it fixes its stare on Sarah. And I'm assuming the rest of you are pretty decently close as well, except for Johnny, who's playing botanist upstairs.
Good job, guys. If he tries to kill you, I'm not there to fight.
Who approaches? This loud, booming voice asks. It seems to come from everywhere at once, but nowhere at the same time.
Oh, it's got a surround system. Cool.
Sarah the
Nice.
fairy.
Greetings, Sarah the fairy. Do you,
I
you
can't
seek
spot. Sorry. Go
you
ahead.
seek an audience with the Bone Lord? Yes.
Yeah. I forgot what was the woman's name, the witch's name on the other place?
Sheenack.
Sheenack.
Sheena.
Sheenack sent us to you. We
Ah,
seek information.
what information do you seek?
An orange globe. That's the.
When you say this, he kind of leans forward in his chair and looks rather hard at you. It almost seems as if the bone squints, despite the fact that it doesn't move at all. Ah, one of the orbs from the Throne of Omens.
Oh.
Interesting. He stands up, and he is about a foot taller than Dougie. He steps down the stairs, and he squats down in front of Sarah and kind of looks puts one of his massive pinky bone underneath her chin and kind of looks at the glow coming from her eyes. This is concerning. And then he stands up.
What was
Fred.
what was the guy who took it from us? What was his
That
name?
was Brufulu Vushu.
Oh yeah, Vushu.
A man named Vushu has it.
No, he
And he
doesn't.
double crossed us. No, he doesn't. Wait,
He
it's
took
He
it
doesn't
away.
have it. I have it.
You
Sarah has it.
all right. You ate it.
Sarah
Didn't
swallowed
you?
it.
Oh, sorry.
It resides within your fairy companion.
Yes.
What does the orb do?
The orb unlocks the throne of omens, hidden deep within the mountain of brass. And you see him he crosses his arms and raises his hands to his non-existent lower jaw and seems to think about something. Threads of fate are in motion. Then you see like his eyes brighten up as if in surprise. The necklace, and he rushes off in what would be off to your right. Are you going to follow him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so you break off in a run after him. There doesn't seem to be any guards around, and the massive strides of the skeleton, despite being, they seem very heavy from the impacts that he's leaving, despite the fact that he has no flesh on him, and he comes to the small to him a portcullis with a giant grate that raises into the roof, and he starts cranking the wheel next to it, and it raises up quickly, and he goes, and you see it kind of looks like not necessarily a storeroom, but like a small vault. There is what looks like sunlight coming down into a circle around the center, but there's no hole in the roof. There's just like these small crystals, probably about the size of Sarah herself, just arranged in a pattern around it. And there is a chest about the size of 2 shoeboxes stacked on top of each other. And you see him like create a pattern with his fingers in front of where the lock is, and it pops open, and he lifts it, and inside there is this deep blue velvet liner, or more of a satin liner, and there's just this divot inside, and there's looks like something had been there, but it's not. He goes, "Oh no. The rising sun is gone." You see him kind of sag a little bit, and then he regains his composure, as much of a composure that a giant skeleton is going to be able to have. And he turns and looks at you who followed him, and he says, "I have a request to make."
What is the rising sun?
The rising sun is one of the ancient magics left to us from the previous age. An
It's
item of
also a
great
house
power.
in New Orleans, I think.
Yes, it is. An amulet. And he indicates a circle about the size of $1 or a gold coin equivalent. It is one of the last remaining seals that shut away the old magics from this world, of which I am one vestige of. Its disappearance means calamity for the rest of the world, a changing of the age if something is not done. Combined with your friend's holding of one of the orbs, this does not bode well for us. For anyone.
So with the necklace and the orb together, it's bad.
No, the orbs by themselves are bad. With the necklace missing, it's worse.
What can we do to help? Are there other jewels or things to open the seal?
Beyond the rising sun, There are. Let me look at my notes because I actually have stuff for that. There are, to my knowledge, 6 orbs that go to the Throne of Omens. They are, and he indicates about the size of the orbs that you have been looking for. It says, once the Throne of Omens has been reborn, such places as this will no longer be as powerful as they once were, but they will still be more powerful than even the best mages of this time are able to muster to counteract it. Unfortunately, my domain only extends to the Dark Forest. I have not had reason to leave for over 300 years.
Got a reason now.
Yeah.
You could come with us.
And who will rule over my kingdom if I go with you?
I'll do it.
Yeah, Paul. You
You
got
see-
Paul. It's great.
You see his head just
We
shift
could leave a
to
sign
you,
saying
and
popped out for 15 minutes.
you would not know how to activate the Bark Throne.
Oh, okay.
Well, then you can tell us what to do, and we'll
Okay.
do it.
I need you to go and find this Throne of Omens, to find these orbs and to destroy them. It is better that their power is lost to the sands of time than to be able to fall into the hands of those who wish to destroy them, as is indicated by this missing amulet.
Okay. Do you know the locations of the orbs?
No. The last one I knew of was the one that resides within you.
There was a guy called Vushu who was looking for it. We managed to get it back off him. Do you know who he works for, or
You see this
where he is?
The circle of arcane energy comes up around the Bone Lord, and his cape, which is pretty much what it is, kind of flutters as this deep purple energy emanates from a circle at his feet, and he says, the fallen druid. Things have gotten more dire. I need you to both find him and find these orbs in order to rectify the problem.
We could pick up
What
your
do you-
lower jaw somewhere as well on the way if you want. If we can find it too. If you want.
My jaw is no concern of yours.
Okay.
What do we do with him
We're
when
just
we
trying to
find him?
help.
The orbs?
No,
Destroy-
the man.
Destroy the orbs.
Vushu. Well,
Okay.
ideally, you could bring him to me, because he has caused much problems within my kingdoms, rising the dark ants against me. But, if you cannot do that, killing him would suffice, and bringing me his head.
I like that option.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm sure Jonah Bob's got room in a stake to stick a few more on.
It's a javelin.
Oh, javelin. Pardon.
Carries around his head on
He
the
can carry it around on his javelin until we get it back to you, and then we can give it to
Yeah,
you.
so far there's a baron's head and a tree ants. A bit of wood from a tree.
Oh yeah.
Okay, I want to ask which we should seek first, the druid or the orbs?
Given that he was the one that tried to take this orb from you, I would say that you find the orbs, because once you find the orbs, you'll not be far behind. Not ahead of you.
Unless he's already got them.
Then all is already lost.
Okay. Right. We'll go after the orbs.
Yeah. We'll just be hopeful. Where do we find information to find the orbs? Where should we start?
Could Sarah's orb track the others?
That is not how the orbs of power work. They do tell stories within the minds of their holders of possible futures and of locations and places beyond the seeing eye. But for actual knowledge of these, you might try one of the ancient libraries. Ancient to humans, that is, within the major cities outside of my domain. However, such places such as the Kingdom of Olton, far to our south, might hold more instructive information. Although, from my time, I do know that the Mountain of Brass is across the sea.
Alright, definitely Alton sounds like the best plan to start.
I hear they got a couple of towers as well.
Unfortunately, my knowledge of Alton has withered over the
Oh,
years,
God,
although I do
Alton.
know.
I thought I just got that one.
Really, that's actually not a joke because I just named it Alton.
There's a basically there's a place in England called Alton Towers, which is a theme park.
Oh, nice. I didn't know that. That's amusing.
I'm gonna get killed in my sleep, aren't I?
By a spear. Sorry, javelin.
He says, even for a long time, the only ports into Alton are either through the inland sea, which on the map that you've seen before is that blue thing in the middle, or through the swamps and over the plateau. In order to cross the plateau, you would have to receive the boon of John the Butcher.
What the hell's a boon?
A boon? That's just an old word for like favor or the approval of.
Okay. Damn it, thank God, I thought we had to kill him. It's like the boon. Let's cut off his boon.
The spoon stick.
In order for he holds sway over the territory outside of the Dark Forest. And this has been an agreeable situation through the kings of Senless, the Dark Forest, that are kingdoms, although adjacent, do not deal with each other's affairs, and this is as I prefer it. If I must leave, I must have a good reason to, as John the Butcher would most likely see it as an attack on his sovereignty, and retaliate against my forest and my home.
Okay, so you stay where you are. We'll
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
We'll go.
We'll go see the butcher.
Do you have any magic that could level us up?
I can
Ooh.
provide you. I was planning on doing this anyway, but I can provide you tools to aid you in your journey.
Oh, that'd be lovely.
Yup.
Within my halls, and he goes to the back of the room, and you see just this solid stone mason work in the back, and he just puts his hands against it, and he pushes, and it swings open like a pair of double doors without any sound. And he says, within these ancient halls lie many artifacts. Not as many as were once found across the ocean or across the sea, but many enough to be able to give you the edge you will need to find and to destroy these orbs. Okay, this is where I forgot to draw up loot for you guys, but I do know I was planning on giving better armor to Sarah because she's a cleric and no one else wears medium to heavy armor. They actually get negatives to it. So there would be items for Hatter, an item for Paul, some magical items for Dougie, possibly a weapon for Jonabob, and something for.
I don't need a new weapon. I have my javelin.
Something to upgrade his javelin.
Another javelin?
It's
Upgrade it.
A longer javelin?
By the way, you've all been playing at level 5 with first level adventurer gear. So, yeah. You say your associate has a fondness for javelins.
Yes, he does. He loves his
Big
little
javelin.
javelin.
And do you know what would be nice? A nice
He strokes
big
it in his
spear.
sleep. Sorry?
A spear would be nice because you could fit more heads on that.
Okay.
Some sort of bag that can carry heads.
No, because then they wouldn't be on display.
Hallie.
A bag is very useful. and he reaches over and he takes what to him looks kind of like one of those clutch purses, but to you is actually kind of a decent satchel. And he hands it over and says, "Are you familiar with a bag of holding?"
Bag of what?
I don't know what.
Holding.
Oh, I got
Holding.
hoe.
No,
Holding.
have
All right.
A
D&D
bag-
lore time, popping out of character. A bag of holding is a special bag with an interdimensional space inside. So pretty much you can put anything that will fit in the bag's mouth into the bag, and it'll weigh the same, but you can keep a lot of crap in there. It's kind of like the infinite inventory on some video game.
Cool, so we can put the orbs in there.
Oh, certain magical items combined with other certain magical items can have a very devastating effect. So if you take 2 bags of holding and put one inside the other, they will tear open a space in the fabric of time.
Do
We
it.
should totally do that. Just kidding.
But it says you may be able to store some of the orbs in it, but I would suggest this one. He hands you another bag. This one, and you feel like Dougie, when it gets next to you, since you're innately magical because of your sorcerer abilities, this feels kind of like it's sucking magic away. It has
oh,
you gather from it that items put inside, and while it's not necessarily harmful for you, magical items put inside will act as if they are not magical, and therefore just kind of like if you had a magical sword and put it in there inside the bag, it acts like it was just a sword. But once you pull it back out, it'll be a magical sword again. So it's kind of like
That's cool.
a shield.
Yeah.
And for you, and he reaches in and to another box and he pulls out this small ring. Small to him, but he hands it to you. It will fit on probably one of your fingers. This, he hands it to you, Dougie.
right.
And I have to make a list and I'll add these things to your character sheets for you so you're not hassled by it.
It's been promising.
This
Say yes, Dougie, say yes.
is a ring of spell storing.
Hmm.
Pretty much that means that this is probably a +1 ring, so whatever spell you have, you can cast into it, and it'll just hold it in reserve, and it won't count against your daily count of magic. So, like, you might be completely and utterly spent from a battle, but if you had a certain spell cast into the ring, you'd be able to cast even if you had no other spell slots.
That's cool.
Oh.
So I didn't
Oh,
spell.
that's pretty good, yeah.
So I need to find the right spell to put into it.
Yeah.
The way it works is that you can cast, I think it's anything from a cantrip to a multi-level spell. It has to be one spell, and if you cast another spell into it, the other one's kind of like overwritten.
All right. I never lose it.
But it won't. But once it's stored in there, it won't like disappear until you use it or put another spell in.
Cool.
Okay.
This is where you get into the fun stuff.
It's not like an unlimited use of spells. It's just in there holding.
Yeah, a level 1 ring of spell storing holds one spell.
Okay.
So let's take, for example, let's look at your spells. I'm going to expand your spell list after this as well at some point, because every day you should be able to choose a certain number of spells as a sorcerer. I think, if I remember correctly, possibly. And no, wait. I'll have to do some research into how sorcerers work because I generally don't deal with them. But let's say you took Magic Missile from your first level spells, which you've used a lot. You take Magic Missile, cast it in there. You could also cast it at a higher level, and it would stay as that higher level spell. So that means instead of like the basic 3 darts that you get from Magic Missile, it might have 4 or 5. But it would still have to you casting that level of spell with that spell slot to go into the ring.
Who's gonna take my stuff, given I'm upstairs?
They would generally probably.
Jonah, come down.
We'll put it in the bag.
No, this is part of the exciting story because I'm upstairs being terrified. All the plants are individual living creatures. All the leaves, sorry.
All the leaves are brown. In the sky, it's gray. I'm sorry, I couldn't resist. Jonah
Something's
Bob,
not coping.
Is it a
as
hazy
you're
thing?
as you're alarmed by the vegetation around here, you hear this booming voice say, "Come down here, Duergar. I have something for you."
I run as fast as I can.
He's
And
like
then
a
we
little
hear-
child.
And then we hear a trip and a rolling and ooh, ah, ooh, ooh, ah, ooh.
And then a head rolls in the door. And I run in after it, snatch it up, put it back in the end of the spear.
You can pretty much figure out where they are, and you meet up with the party in front of this huge skeleton that is 3 feet taller than you.
And I run right back out the door.
And you hear kind of the sigh just come from the Bone Lord.
And then I lean round the corner of the door to throw my javelin.
He catches it super easily and says, He reaches over, force grabs something, and this javelin flies into his hand, and he says, "Perhaps you should try this one." And he throws it back at you, and all of a sudden, this bolt of lightning just zizzes past where Jonabob was, and just impacts, and there's a scorch mark on the ground, but then there's also this javelin.
Oh my god, you have a Thor javelin.
Yay!
I run over and I grab it and I say thank you, but can I have the head back, please?
He tosses the javelin. He carefully tosses the javelin back to you. You
So
now
I've
are
got
in
2
possession.
javelins now.
You have technically 3 or 4, including this new one.
That is
You are
incredible.
now in possession of a javelin of lightning. It doesn't return back to your hand like the Mjolnir does, but it will, once you speak the command phrase and throw it, it will turn into a bolt of lightning and do magical lightning damage instead of the normal piercing damage.
What's the command phrase?
Is something written in Elvish, if I remember correctly, according to certain lores, it is literally the Elvish word for lightning. But I don't trouble myself with that because I assume your characters would know that and do that if you're going to use that.
Throw
So I have to
at
say
direction
lightning.
of an enemy.
Yes, it's kind of like the whole speak friend and enter thing.
This
I
way
like
up.
the sound of it.
Okay. Which way are we going? Are we going to go?
Whoa,
Thank
I
you,
haven't
thank
got
you.
mine.
Oh, sorry. I'll be right back.
Go
While
ahead.
you get your one, Jera.
I have no idea what I got as well. I probably got a spoon or something.
I'm gonna get mine.
You got a candle's fall.
Yeah.
Do you want something that? All right. The Bone Lord offers you some options, Paul. You can have something.
Go on.
Oh, Sarah's going to be some sort of armor. I know that for sure because I got this cute little thing that goes with it. You can have a weapon, a set of armor, or something that can improve your sneak ability.
Ooh. Which one?
Can I have a puppy?
We unfortunately do not have. Oh wait,
Oh wait, what?
there might be an item. Oh.
They have like a
Okay.
familiar.
Oh, that's a spellcaster thing, but there is. Hang on, let me look it up real quick.
Because your weapons are pretty good already, Paul.
Yeah, I
I
was thinking
reckon.
that. And maybe the sneak thing, but
Yeah.
I don't
A
need
dog.
Oh.
You say?
Well, like a wolf or.
Hound.
God, he's gonna get the dog killed. Let's not do this. I don't want to do this. No.
He reaches over and he pulls out this small figurine. It is a dog carved out of onyx, and he hands it to you, and he says, "This will turn into a magical creature. Once you use it, and once it After 6 hours have passed, it will revert back to being the statue, and you will not be able to summon it again for a week. But it allows you to be able to. Here is the figurine of wondrous power, Onyx Dog. The figurine of wondrous power is a statue of a small beast, small enough to fit in a pocket. If you use an action to speak the command word and throw the figurine to a point on the ground within 60 feet of you, the figurine becomes a living creature. If the space where the creature would appear is occupied by other creatures or objects, or isn't enough space for the creature, the figurine doesn't become a creature. The creature is friendly to you and your companions. It understands your languages and obeys your spoken commands. If you issue no commands, the creature defends itself but takes no action. The creature exists for a duration specific to each figurine. The Onyx Dog lasts for 6 hours. At the end of the duration, the creature reverts to its figurine form. It reverts to a figurine early if it drops to 0 hit points, or if you use an action to speak the command word while touching it. The creature becomes a figurine again. Its property can't be used again until a certain amount of time has passed, as specified in the figurine's description.
Well, what can it do though?
It can attack. It has it turns into a mastiff, which has its own set of stats. And so pretty much it can the Onyx statue of a dog can become a mastiff. Mastiff has an intelligence of 8, speaks common, it has dark vision for a range of 60 feet, and it can see invisible creatures and objects within that range.
Yeah, I'll
And
take
when
that.
you use it, Paul, you have to go, Onyx, I choose you. And you throw your
Is
little
it like a Pokemon thing? Is it?
statue. Yeah.
Pretty much it is.
Oh, I'll take that then.
That's pretty cool.
I won't know how to use it. I'll probably forget about it.
Yeah,
Go,
exactly.
and go skunk of smell, and that'll be it.
Okay, we got Dougie, we got Johnny, we got the whole party with the 2 bags. We got Paul. That leaves pretty much the only thing that
What would Colin have got?
Colin would have gotten a warlock rod, which pretty much allows him to cast an extra spell.
What did Hatter get?
We haven't gotten to him yet.
I'm being polite and waiting.
Okay.
I thought I got a bag, to be honest.
I got the bags.
Forgot about that.
Oh. All right.
Bag for life.
Would you prefer to have a... Ian, he kind of strokes his non-existent jaw. An instrument? Or would you prefer to have some sort of means of defense of magical nature?
Don't
For
you do
me,
it.
I will go for the instrument. So I think I
Oh
got a
my
few.
gosh.
No, because I got some defensive spells already.
We're gonna have you singing "Brave, Brave Sir Robin" all the way through the forest.
Well, to be honest, he's a bard. They're supposed to be singing and playing instruments. That's where their magic comes from.
Oh.
Ah, magic instrument.
Yeah, so sorry, Sarah. I have to sing for the good of everyone.
Do you know? Do you do requests?
If you follow me on Patreon, yes.
Okay.
We don't know what sort of instrument yet, do we?
The recorder.
A tin whistle,
Comb.
a boweron.
Oh, one of those little like finger thimbles.
He reaches out. He reaches out and hands you a mandolin.
Oh God.
It's a magic
Thank you.
mandolin, though.
Yes, it is. It is a Knaith mandolin. He explains to you that you can cast Cure Wounds at 3rd level with it, Dispel Magic, or Protect from Energy, but only applies for lightning. And so if you were to cast Protect from Energy lightning on somebody, they would gain resistance or a bonus of defense to something like Johnny's javelin.
Yeah. Oh, cool. All right, that's pretty good.
I need that one day. That man's crazy.
Yeah.
He is the classic murder hobo.
What song are you going to play, 86, that would defend you from magic lightning on your guitar?
Miley Cyrus is
Yeah,
Um,
mandolin. Sorry.
Thunderstruck.
Nice.
Play
Really, no. Why I
Or,
feel like there's a song called "Ride the Lightning."
Arctic Monkeys, Crying Lightning. Crying Lightning. Ride Lightning. Is that like a Metallica
Yeah.
album or something?
Possibly.
Why not Grease Lightning? That's one that everyone knows. Grease Lightning.
Ooh, White Lightning. Powder Stanley just has bunches of searches for the various types of songs that feature lightning.
Yeah.
Just shredding on his mandolin. Just...
So
Okay.
can he protect others? So he can protect others with the thing.
Yes, he allows him to be able to cast Protect from Energy, which could be either on somebody he knows within a certain distance or on himself.
Okay.
So, like, let's look at your spell list now, Sarah, because this is we're learning a character. So like your spell, let's go with Cure Wounds. You can cast it on yourself, or you can cast it on other people.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to expand all these lists now. This is gonna be fun.
Yeah, good for you.
Yeah.
At least that's on you and not on us.
It should be for certain things, but it is what it is.
But we're children.
I like leading children on adventures. That sounded
Oh, good
wrong.
lord.
I like
Good lord.
I like helping people enjoy something that I enjoy, which is
Yeah, that
D&D.
sounds better.
Eh.
We shall edit the previous piece out.
It's an adventure, and it's not illegal currently.
Okay, can I get my stuff? I want my stuff now. Present.
Presents. Okay. Let me just look at your character sheet because you have proficiencies in. Your AC currently is 15. It's actually pretty good for such a kind of thing. You have all right. I did say you were probably going to get some armor, but I'll give you a choice. Do you want a weapon or armor?
Do I currently have a weapon?
You do have a weapon. You also have spells that can inflict a lot of damage, technically.
What's my weapon right now?
You have a warhammer.
Bloody hell.
I want armor.
Okay. Look up something quick.
Because I live with Jonah Bob.
He's always flinging spears,
I
javelins.
want armor like is electricity, like it shocks you if you touch me. So when he tries to put me in his pocket, shock.
Bit like
Oh.
pepper spray.
Like an electric
Okay.
fence.
So, I would suggest that you get something for medium armor. So you currently have there's a lot of rain outside. Hello, rain.
No rain here.
What kind of armor do you have? If I remember correctly, you get like basic hide or so. Oh, you have leather armor. Okay, that kind of sucks for a cleric.
Yeah. Okay then. I chose well.
All
Me.
right. No, that was the baseline.
Sarah's no longer dressed in leather. Oh.
Do
Aw.
you want?
I'm 10 inches tall, man.
With 1-inch boobs, baby.
One.
Okay, so you have the choice of 5 different types of armor for medium. There's hide, there's a chain shirt, there's scale mail, a breastplate, and half plate. The one that provides the most protection is half plate.
What's that half plate?
Half plate is like it's like a full suit of armor, but it's not as coverage. So it's like a chest piece, maybe a helmet, maybe something on your forearms, maybe something on your legs, but it's not going to be like full on Renaissance knight.
Yeah. Okay then. On that one.
Okay. So a half plate with resistance to magic or lightning specifically. Come on, pen work. There is one thing that some of these will have to do, especially for some of you. There's this thing called attunement, which pretty much you get to know what the thing is, and then it customizes itself to you. But that's currently for this only applies to Sarah's half plate.
Okay. The attunement's so like what Thor has with the hammer in it.
Okay. So the Bone Lord brings out this set of half plate, and he says, "You take some time to get used to this." And the chest plate is literally about the size of Sarah, if not taller. And so he kind of sets it up against the wall in a certain way, and you see Sarah kind of wriggle in under it, and you see her little head pop up from where the neck hole is. And 30 minutes later, the armor magically adjusts, and all of a sudden it's her size. It's fit perfectly.
She has Iron Man armor. Sweet.
The Bone Lord says, "Right now, this is what I can spare to give you, as I must also arm my subjects just in case they make an assault on the Bark Throne. This should be able to carry you to your next objective." Is there anything else you wish to know?
What's our next objective?
The next
We're going after the next first orb.
We're going to the butcher.
Oh, that southern city, right?
Yeah, you can your options for that are you can either try to cross the plateau and cross a lot of desert. And to do that, you would need the okay from the King of Senless, which is John the Butcher. Or you can go and charter a ship on the western side and sail along the inland sea and go to one of the locations in Olton, one of the port cities, and then still necessarily cross parts of the desert in order to get to where their libraries and things are.
What's
what else?
faster?
What's faster?
I think that.
Well, I guess by ship it's pretty faster.
Really?
The ship would probably. Yes.
Why are the plants alive? Sorry, the leaves alive.
The leaves are. The Bone
leaves
Lord
are
looks at you.
alive for the sound of music.
He says, the way that the plants within the dark forest live is like other plants, but they are in such ways look like it is in perpetual autumn here. You see what to you looks like blighted leaves and blasted trees are actually vibrant and full of life, much similar to my own form, and he indicates him still being functional, but being a giant skeleton. And he says, it is merely a different form of life. No different than those. You hear kind of this throaty chuckle, and he's like, not all life is agreed with upon this earth, or upon this world. But we all must enjoy the small things about it.
Can I ask the Bone Lord a question?
Yes.
What happened to his lower jaw?
I lost it long ago in a struggle for power. Before the age of magic that we currently are in came in, before things such as the Throne of Omens were locked away.
How many health points does he have?
Enough that we should leave him alone.
I would
Enough
say
to
he
survive a
probably
lightning bolt.
he would have probably around 900 at least.
That didn't sound too hard.
No, we're doing job for him.
Yeah, I'm not attacking this guy.
So what do you reckon, guys? Should we go by boat or by desert? I think by desert
This
probably
bloke's
might be more
stupid,
Well,
though.
treacherous.
Well, let's put it this way. You'll eventually have to cross parts of the desert, but all right, I'm going to have to bring you back to the map. since this is what we'll be dealing with. No, put it on the map. Thank you, Roll20. Thank you for complying. Okay.
Feeling that.
Let me know when you can see it.
I can see it.
But
Hashtag Trent 10% off.
that boatload's
Yeah, I can
going
see
to screw us over.
Can you just give us your recommendation?
Okay. Well, I have to explain it first. That's just how it is. You're currently here in the center of the Dark Forest.
Yep.
There is, to your knowledge, there are no cities on the eastern side of Senless. Yes. In order to get to Olton, which is all the way down here, you'd have to cross all through the Dark Forest, through Hedrei, through some of the other places, through a swampy marsh at the base, cross over the plateau, which is immense. There are also a number of fortifications along there, and then cross a bunch of open desert to reach any one of the cities of Olton.
Okay, we're going to ship.
Or you can just go through like one of the major cities and head over to this port right here, get a ship, and sail down to here.
Yeah, ship.
Yep. We're
Yep.
getting a boat.
Can we build a boat?
No, we hire one.
Do you have like 6 to 7 months to build a boat?
Well, there's 5 of us.
Like 3 of us are useless.
Like, all
I'm
the
about
wood would be
3
bigger
foot
than
tall
me.
or something.
We
Yeah.
have tons and tons of trees. I have an axe. Why can't we just build a boat?
Because do you
says wood.
have the skills required to build a boat?
No.
I want to see Jonah Bob. I want to see Jonah Bob live stream in a forest with an axe, and he's like, "Hey guys, I'm gonna build a boat today."
One day. Oh, I've got 4 survival. Doesn't that count as building boats?
You would need proficiency with artisan tools in order to do that. And currently, you have brewer supplies and bagpipes.
Where do we go to get a ship?
To get a ship, are you asking the Bone Lord that? Or are you asking me as the DM?
Bone Lord, I guess.
There are a number of ports. I hear that there's at least one major port near the edge of Senless. There is a small port that many do not know on the eastern side, just outside of my kingdom.
Does it have a
It would
name?
be, he doesn't bother himself with that, and it's mostly it's a pirate port, to be honest.
Ooh.
Would we be safe there?
Oh, excuse me.
You'd probably be safer over here than you would be going to a pirate.
You're
She
an
can't see
idiot.
that, can she?
Yeah, let's go here
Yeah.
for a. Let's
You're
play it
caught in
safe.
the middle of the ocean.
Okay,
Yeah.
we'll go to the safer port. The one that's...
So-
So
That's
we'll
circled.
walk, to that, we'll walk to that port, and I will play my bagpipes the whole.
Like a true
Need company
Scotsman.
with my mandolin.
Beautiful.
It's got to sound good. Bagpipes and mandolin together.
And
Okay.
someone has to make a drum.
Let's start moving. Let's start leaving. Thank you, Bone Lord.
Bye, Mr. Bone Lord. Thank you for the javelin.
I find it absolutely amazing that you're treating him kind of like Mr. Rogers.
He's been very nice to us.
He's going to screw us over when we, like the other bloke did. I know it.
I don't think so, but you know.
At least for now, he's given us some good advice and help.
Till we use them and they don't work.
And then we set Jonah Bob on him. Once he
Yeah.
betrays us.
I don't have a bone to pick with him.
Oh
Yeah.
God.
So we're heading off.
Yeah.
We're heading there, yeah.
We're leaving the tower.
Okay. He bids you farewell and resumes his spot on his throne.
And we'll hit the road. Bone to be one.
And as he leaves, he says, "I shall assign 2 sentries to go with you to ensure you are
Oh dear.
safe
I
along
don't
the
like the
road."
sound of that. No,
Alright.
thank you.
We thank you for your generosity. Please excuse the
No, thank you.
man over there. He's,
I grab Sarah in my hand and force her into my pocket. No, thank you, Bone Lord. We'll go on our own.
I got to remember to put that the lightning resistance also does a moderate amount of lightning damage.
Jonah Bob just got zapped.
Yep.
Wait, what? Did I get hurt?
You're upstairs.
Yeah, Sarah's got armor on.
Oh no.
Yeah.
She's got a Jonah Bob defense system installed.
You just feel your hand like crumple up again. It's like.
Wait, she's in my hand. Doesn't that crush her?
It kind of is more like, you know how your fingers can curl back. Maybe that's only mine.
Okay.
You and having things done in your hands, man. Holy
So
crap.
how much damage did I take?
It was just currently it's just a story thing. I have to work out what it does.
Okay, fair enough.
So how long will it take us
What is you
to get to the boat?
I would say that the journey between here and where you guys are going to be, I could probably cover it in the next 40 minutes or so. But yeah. This quest will take a while because this is D&D. We can't do anything simple in 5 minutes.
Yeah, we can't just fast travel.
I know, right?
We haven't been there. We can't fast travel until we've been there.
Can we all just look at the ground and just walk? And when someone's like, "Hey, over here," we're like, "No, we're not talking to you. We're going over here to this port."
Right. So probably the fastest way would go from Grooms's Haven, which is the red circle, kind of follow the path through Hedrii, pass through Prem over to this port city. That way you avoid Agam and the Tempest King.
Yep.
Okay, we had to.
Yes.
What time of day is it?
Yeah, we got.
Oh, are you saying Grooms's Haven or Hedrii?
Oh, well, you said Groomshaven first. Right?
Groomshes.
We can go back to the pub with the red circle.
Groomshaven.
For where we started from.
Yeah, we go see Sandy. See what's up. It's been a while.
It's getting. It's
We'll
after
get
dinner time. It's starting to get very dark in the Dark Forest. It's definitely going to be night soon.
So
But
can we get out of there before nighttime fully falls?
You would probably get in there halfway, but with the sentinels that the Bone Lord is going to be sending with you, you should be able to find your way quite easily in the Dark Forest.
Let's go. Nice bird.
So as you exit the cavernous mouth-like entryway to the tower, as you go, you see walking in line are these figures, probably about the same size or same height as the Bone Lord, but just covered in armor, and it looks like there's like woody sinew inside, and like someone made it an upscaled version of a scarecrow but made it armored. Walking on either side of you, one of them is dragging an enormous two-handed sword, and it sounds very similar to what you were hearing before.
Ah.
Are they part of the Bone Lord's army?
Yeah, they're his sentinels or whatever.
Protectionists.
I don't
So
like this.
they're protecting us
Yeah. I don't
Yes.
mind.
till the edge of the forest.
Yeah.
I walk faster so that I'm not between them.
They're just kind of like on either side of you. Even if you are in a group, they're still kind of very rigidly in the middle. And as they move, it seems like the armor is more like built into them than it is they're wearing it. It seems very natural for them to move. And while they do seem like they're lumbering, they seem a little bit more dexterous than you would actually expect. Because while it does sound like they're walking through dried leaves, because they technically are, there's like several different branches that have just fallen on the ground, and they seem to not step on any of them. Even with even the one dragging the big sword.
Nimble.
Are they similar to the Ent that we killed? They sound similar to the Ent.
I would say that the aspects of like living wood moving around are similar to the ant and these things, but these seems to be a different set of creatures entirely because it looks more like in the gaps of the armor, it seems more like there is a wooden skeleton inside them rather than an ant creature.
Right. Oh, that's okay. I was a bit worried that
You
they might have been
getting
an ant
suspicious,
gone
Paul?
rogue. Yeah.
Well, I will disclose this because the Bone Lord probably would have mentioned this to explain why he couldn't leave. There are two groups of Ents living in the forest. There are the Dark Ents, which are trying to overthrow everything, and then there are the Ents who are just like the ones from Lord of the Rings. They're just there to caretake the forest and pretty much be nature hippies.
And are we with the rest? We're with those?
Where were those?
You're not with the Dark Ents. You're with you're on the side the normal Ents are on the side of the Bone Lord. These are not Ents, but they are in line with those Ents.
Okay, cool. Makes me feel like we're on the right side then. That's good.
Or are you?
No.
Oh, he just said.
Dun dun dun.
Anyway.
Oh yeah. By the way, if you guys had gone through the swamps, you would have gotten to see the Hanging Gardens, and that would have been fun.
Well,
Man.
We can come back another year.
Yeah. We'll probably get there at some point.
We'll never get to
Maybe.
meet the butcher. Or will we?
His seat of power is Agon, which is
Oh yeah.
Is that a small lake by that little gone?
What? Here.
Yeah, is that a lake? It's a
There
lake.
does have to be some kind of little
It
pond.
looks
or
kind of like a
something.
lake. I don't think there actually is a lake there because most of the water is either oceans or the swamp on the south. There might be a few inland lakes around there. It
You
makes
can't
sense though.
steal a boat.
Okay. Can we move on?
Okay, so you guys make it through the forest with your two giant sentinels, and you start to see the shape of them. You see more of, like, significantly much more of them on either side within the forest itself, and it clicks like, oh, these are the things that we kept hearing. Oh my God, there's so many. And you come out outside of the dark forest, and like the sentinels abruptly stop right at the edge of the forest, and you keep walking on, and they don't move, they don't do anything. They could be trees at a distance for all you know, and you slowly make your way back to Groomsh's Haven.
we wave bye to the trees. And
You don't see any reaction, but
Yeah.
you kind of get the feeling that it's appreciated just a little bit.
Unless they turn away, they say, thank God they
I
did.
turn around.
Definitely
I want
would have
to.
I spit at them.
Yeah. I scream at the forest. And I leave.
No
Yes,
more
Sarah.
Nothing. I was just gonna say I would have said thanks for escorting us.
Okay.
Raised in the South, we have manners.
I'll pass up on the treason day jokes, but yeah. No, I'm talking about 4th of July with all these UK people here.
Mm-hmm.
I like America.
Actually, yesterday, like, wish us a happy
It's an
4th of
excellent
July.
country.
Oh yes, the U.S. is fantastic for the
Yeah.
most part. Anyway, so you don't feel unsafe going around Grimsh's Haven. You guys have worked around here. You've done a lot of stuff. You're experienced adventurers, and you see the Clearwater Tavern. I think that's the name of the place. The lights are all happy. The broken walls that it has on one side let out the light, and the sound of revelry is in the air. Even at this distance, you can hear the sound of Sandy calling up orders and handing out things, and just generally having a good time.
Sandy.
I'm guessing we're staying here.
Finally. I'm home.
I doubt that my companions could pass that up.
welcome, GT. Thank you very much for subscribing 22 months in a row. Fucking hell, you're so awesome.
Is that bionic?
2 months.
Yeah.
Are you coming? Are you coming in? We're still playing with you.
Yeah, come hang out in the pub.
We're dragging his
We're heading
body
back to
around.
the pub where we started from.
Okay, we're entering the pub.
You're greeted by Sandy. Hello. You'll be drinking this evening?
Oh yes.
I like your attitude. How much will it be this time?
How much you got?
Stu, just the usual. We
Uh,
put 100. Did we not put 100 behind the bar? We got any credit left? The last time.
Sandy kind of looks behind the bar and says, a group of the king's men came in and a few other parties, and they've been drinking heavily all night. If you had been in early, I would have said we'd had as much as you want, but they're drinking me out of house and home. I might be able to get a couple of cups, maybe 3 apiece.
I don't want any. I want to keep senses sharp. Plus, I don't know if alcohol and orbs, mix well.
Can we get a glass of milk and the rest beer?
Yeah.
For everyone
And
else.
can I just
Beers and
apologize,
whiskies.
Sandy? I was calling you Sadie all day, and her name is Sandy. I apologize.
Yeah.
And I'm still single.
And I will still point out that Sandy's pretty much an orcish Terry Crews in a sundress.
It's fantastic. Yeah, exactly. Wow. I'm more
Wow.
into it now.
Well, that's a vision. Something.
Yeah. Yes. He's got a blonde wig. His the lower tusks that orcs have, his are painted like a very flashy blue color, and he's got like the spaghetti straps for the sundress up, and you just see all this chest muscle instead of cleavage, and it's like,
Okay.
this is a bit odd.
Swipe
Shall
right.
we say Thursday at 7?
Okay, I just swiped right.
Anyway, so do
Ooh.
you want a proportionately sized cup, Sarah?
Yeah, I do. I don't want to bathe in milk this time.
This time. All right, so you get the equivalent of like this thimble of milk.
Oh, that's adorable.
It's probably about the equivalent size is probably like first half of your torso, like the rib cage size to you. But you've drunken out of things like this before. This is actually pretty nice, and so it's like a bucket for you,
Mhm.
but compared to most of the steins that are being given to Dougie and them, which are more like bathtubs, this is pretty nice.
Oh, that's nice. Maybe I'll wash
Bathtub
my
of beer. Mm.
So
Ooh,
as
you got
you
like a
drink
weird,
it,
she's
it's
got a
not
weird milk fetish.
it's not cow's milk. It's goat's milk for the most
Oh.
part here. There's not a lot of area for cows to kind of spread out. Near Grooms's Haven, it's mostly going to be sheep and goats. But if you get the closer you get to Prem, the more likely you're going to find cattle and other things, because that's like their major industry. Prem is just the central location, and then there's all these like farming districts and farms built up around it. And Prem is the kind of like the farmers market day, but made into a city.
Oh, okay.
That's fine. I'll sit back and watch them. And go to bed.
So you curl up with your milk, kind of in the back of the bar, snuggled in between a couple of the bottles and stuff, and you get all comfy, and you see your friends out there having a good time and chatting up with the new people at the bar, and you all eventually go to sleep. You wake up in the morning. Does anyone get anything for breakfast, or you just like get up and go?
I'm gonna have some toast.
All right, you get some toast,
Coffee.
and
go.
Yeah, I'll just roll
Coffee.
some tobacco and the road.
Okay. So you get the equivalent of coffee. There's coffee in this world, thank God. He says, taking his own sip of coffee. And you start making your way towards the port city that I forgot the name of, and I think I did have a name for that one. It takes 2 to 3 days for you to make it to Hedrii and then follow the main road through Prem, and we can just skip over that part. It's really not anything of interest. And you pass through the places like the sheep pens and a few other things. And you make your way into the major port city of Senlis.
Okay.
Is that's that one there, isn't it?
Yeah.
How
this
do I
one
make
right
it?
here.
Who do we approach? Is there like I don't know who to approach.
There's a number of the equivalent of travel agencies or ship what are they called? Ship charters, and there's like bars all over the place. Everything is either dealing with fishing, shipping, or the transfer of live goods.
Okay.
And there's also things in the corners where like people are selling wares from far off countries and the general haggling going about.
The first bar we see that has to do with ships, we go in.
Oh, everything deals with ships for bars, but the one that looks like the most used is kind of midway into town and seems very popular. You go in. There's a place for you guys. You can sleep here as well, and it seems a little quiet here. Like it's not business time. This is probably through all your travels. You came in pretty early in this morning after some camping, and it's nice to not see the hustle and bustle has made its way into here currently like it is outside. It's a little muffled in here. Like they have a little bit better soundproofing than other places. A human male stands behind the bar, and he's got this enormous mustache, like Mario, but it's waxed and goes in this enormous curve.
It's me, Mario.
How are you guys? Orc folk. Durgar. You must be from the eastern side of Sunless. How may I help you?
Drink.
We're looking to charter a ship.
Well, you came to the right place. This is the only place that I know of in all of Sunless where you can actually charter a ship.
Oh well. Good
How
call.
much?
Yeah.
Depends on where you're going. Depends on if you want to join in on an already chartered ship to a location, or if you want to have a ship all to yourself, shall we say, with the crew provided. It really does depend.
Where are we going? I forgot the name.
Just say desert place. Desert place works for me.
Okay,
We're going to the
desert.
sand.
Ultim is our ultimate destination.
South.
Yes, that's all. That's on the trade routes. Yes. That could run you anywhere from 10 silver a piece with crowded conditions, and might take several weeks as they make a lot of stops along other places. Or you can buy a boat at maybe 10 to 20 gold a piece.
We
and
have a
have them-
ferry we could sell you.
I'm looking
No!
for a ship. I need a ship full to the brim with seamen, and I won't take anything less. The more seamen, the better.
Well, if you're
Can I know how much gold and silver we have, like each of us, or?
I'm trying to find where my gold is.
it's where your initiative roll is. It's in the center of the three
down
boxes.
like the middle.
All the way down at the
column.
bottom, there's weird little shapes next to your equipment in the little equipment box. Those are your gold and silver. And since we're not using Electrium, I'll just say that you have 96 silver and
I've got
99
one
gold.
15
Mandrake
gold,
Stonebreaker.
but I'm not sure if I've won 15 gold or if I forgot to.
Are you the haggler, aren't you? Can we get the price down a bit?
Yeah, you have
Oh, yeah.
115 gold.
Oh, cool. How much was the ship?
There we go.
Or how much was a private ship?
10 gold.
10 gold each.
10 gold. Each.
Uh,
Okay.
I can put some word out for you and see if there's anyone willing to go to Alton Express.
John,
Give
John, John and Mama Sarah are not exactly tall. They don't take up much
Yeah, I
space.
don't even really
I
need
take
a
up
seat.
no room at all.
Well, it's still
she-
they still
she
have
lives
to
in my
probably
pocket.
feed you
Yeah.
and allow for
She's
supplies and all that.
5 inches tall. She's not going to eat a whole
10 inches tall.
10.
Actually,
And I don't eat.
don't besmuch my woman.
I can't even eat like a full banana. So
Wait, what?
An interesting choice of fruit.
I don't know. It's the first thing I thought of. Shut up.
Sarah, that's not what else is in my pocket.
There's the walket in your pocket.
Hey, Uli.
Hi, Ollie.
Hey, Ole.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's do the private ship, I guess.
Yeah, private ship,
Yeah.
15 gold each. Deal done. Take the money. Thank you very much.
Well, I'll
I
put.
will give 20 gold in return for a private sleeping quarter.
I'll
That is-
see what I can do.
I'm not giving 20 gold.
No, I'll give 20 gold. You guys
Oh,
can give her
deal.
much.
Can I persuade him?
Well, he's not the one who's actually going to be charting your ship. He is going to put word out that a group of adventurers are looking for a ship to hire, and captains will come here and will
right.
conduct an interview.
Oh, okay.
Okay, well,
So-
we'll haggle with them when they come. We'll say we'll pay
Yeah,
full
good point.
price.
I say, for a gold apiece, you guys can stay here for 2 to 3 days, and shouldn't be more than that for you to lodge here and to get a ship. This is a pretty busy place.
Okay.
That's fine.
That sounds good. 10 gold apiece, 2
Do we-
days.
do we
That's the highest I'm going to go.
Oh,
No,
wow.
he said,
Don't listen to that man.
Shake my hand, sir, and let's
do we
go
get
about
breakfast
business.
and dinner included?
Yeah, the drinks will be extra, but they're a couple of copper apiece.
Are you Northern Irish, sir? Is that a Northern Irish accent I'm hearing?
It did come out a little bit.
It's for some reason this guy has become Irish. I don't know why, but there is one individual who is very North Ireland, and I love him so much. Thoughty Sweet Tea is his name. You might actually meet him if you do.
That's more Australian.
Yeah, that's fine.
There was a touch of Irish, I'll allow it.
Okay, we give our gold. One
Yeah.
gold.
Okay, so where do we go for that? It's core, isn't it?
Yeah. It's
How much are we given?
We fast forward
You-
time.
We give him one gold.
you give him 1 gold, and it'll be 10 gold piece, except for Johnny's, which will be 20 gold for the ship. You guys are waiting around. You meet a couple of captains, and none of them really like the idea of traveling with your group. Some of them they don't seem like they know what they're about. Other ones just don't like you. And
Embarrassing.
as you're doing about this, what?
Because Jonah Bob was holding his axe above his head.
Yeah. Oh, is he still doing that? He's been doing that for like 5 days now.
To him.
So a couple of other individuals come in. One's a very studious-looking man. He's got a long, about knee-length coat, and he's got a satchel and
I start
glasses.
getting my axe out slowly.
And he's knee deep. He's face deep in some parchments as they come in, and you see this other one. He's very heavily wrapped, and he's got a hood up, and he kind of walks with a level of pride to his step. Like he is used to getting people to at least recognize him as someone. And
You're hired.
he looks and he kind of goes around the other people who are in the bar, and he comes over to your group and says, "Oh, hello. It's
To be
strange.
sure.
It's strange to see such individuals this far in to the east or west of Sendus. Sorry, my It's been a while since I have spoke common. My associate and I are on what's the word? A journey. A journey. Uh, my associate here, he is Dr. Strasborn. Uh, would you mind answering some questions for him? Strasborn comes
Sure.
up.
Yeah.
Strasborn comes up and he looks at all of you. He raises his hand up to about face level and he kind of flops his hand back and forth like a flipper and smiles and then extends his hand. This ah, that's right. I've completely forgot. You do not understand his hand speech. What is it called? Sign language. That's the word. That's his way of asking to shake your hand.
Right.
I
Finish
put my
shaking
hand. I
man's
put a hand out, and we shake it.
You must forgive him. During some of his research, he has lost his voice, and no matter how much he looks for it, he cannot find it. So I am more of his interpreter than his traveling companion.
What kind of questions?
Oh, there's a few things. He's researched a mesh between wood and metal. There are a few other things as well. He and I have a very similar uh, pastime of trying to find such things as like the secret of life, how inanimate objects can be made as if they were born like in any one of you. It's a very fascinating pastime, and any help is good. Is good for it.
Sorry, did you say born inanimate objects born inside you?
Born as if they were born as you are flesh and blood. The creation of us, these creatures that are not flesh and blood, but live as if they were.
Well, you can ask your question.
Well,
Let me hang out.
like a sofa giving birth to
What is the
armchair.
term?
Like a living and
The
breathing sofa.
creatures. There's these some may call them machines, others may call them monstrosities. There are these beings referred to as warforged. Several of you. I need a history check.
What's?
Is
Can you
there
do
a bar on this boat?
I think he's been drinking.
There is you're not on the boat yet.
Oh, okay.
Paul, you think there's history. It exists. Things have happened in the past.
Well, that was a good history check.
That was
If anyone else wants
Wait,
to
are we
make
in
a
the
history
pub?
check. You're still in the pub. You're still
Pass.
waiting to get a
Okay. So I
I'll
go
do it.
witch and I spit
Roll
on
a
the
history check here.
go to the bar.
My history's -2, so I'm not going to get anywhere.
You might. You never know.
Or Trent
Well,
might
thanks,
just make
Paul.
fun of you.
Things have passed.
Things have passed.
Yeah, history is about
you kinda-
past.
You kind of see no one else does any history checks. You see he's kind of lost his audience. Like, oh, forgive me. There are men
Hi, Reg.
made out of metal and wood that act like real men, though they have no father or mother. Yes?
Like robots.
Yes. Yeah, they're like yeah, I guess so.
They are very similar to robots. They it wouldn't be it's like a cyborg, but instead of being a human built into it, it's more of like trees and living plants.
All right. Okay.
Huh. Okay.
So it's the things that the skull guy sent after us.
To
I would not
protect us.
say they're Warforged. They are similar to Warforged, but they might be a different brand. Because Warforged are very specifically made constructs. There are also things referred to as golems or what other things are there? It's mainly golems are kind of like robots without a soul, Warforged are more robots with a soul.
Hmm.
And a little bit more free will.
Wait, they have souls?
I want to answer the questions, or at least let them ask the questions.
Okay, so you're asked a series of questions about such things as any like ancient places you might have discovered in the woods, which you really haven't encountered, and you don't necessarily share that. Oh yeah, we went to see the Bone Lord. It's more of along the lines of, have you seen interesting plant life and
I was just gonna
you
say
know.
the leaves. Did you know the leaves are actually plants? It's fascinating.
And then he goes,
Jonah Bob wrote a book about it.
I'm,
and it
I'm
goes
at the
more.
bar crying, talking about, trying to tell the barman about the
The leaves, man.
I
They're
stood
actually
on
little-
one.
For the most part, it's kind of an academic kind of questioning. They ask about, do you know of any people who might specialize in this in your travels, and they don't really get much out of you. And you see that while Stressborn is taking notes vigorously, his associate is very much more bored with the thing because he sees it's not going anywhere. He says, "Thank you for your time. If you do encounter anything similar to these creatures or anything in dealing with magics involving human life, please contact me. My name is Sodra. Obviously, my associate here is Stasborn, and you can contact us. Send a message through. And he gives you a very specific name in Prem, and they'll get whatever message you send to them to him. I won't require you to remember that, but it'll just be like, oh yeah, if we want to send something to this guy, we can.
They're not going to come with us then.
No, their journeys are going to be more expeditions up to the north after there, and they're going to probably stop by Agon.
Ah, where the butcher is.
Yeah.
Good evening to you. I think this ends our business. Thank you. And as he leaves, you see someone enter who looks like a captain. He's got a very nice outfit. He's got the hat just so, and he just oozes this feeling of I am in command of this ship, despite the fact that there is no ship in sight. And he approaches. I see, if my observation is correct, you are the individuals looking to hire a ship, correct?
We are looking
Correct.
to hire a ship, yeah.
Okay. Yes.
Who are you?
My name is Captain Johannes Dawson. My ship is recently available to make a trip down to the ports of Hialat. If you're not familiar with that, that's in Olton.
We're heading
Is
to
that
Alton.
is that Johannes with a Y or with a J?
It is with a J.
Okay.
Good question.
We want to head to Alton.
You're hired.
Yes, quick question.
Yeah?
What?
Fire away.
Sarah, you have a question?
Oh,
No, I said good question to Hatter.
Oh,
Oh.
thank you.
Mhm.
I thought it was pointless, but thank you.
I heard quick question anyway. He says yes. We can leave in any of the next couple of days if you wish. A shipment fell through, and my crew and I are out of the job, so we have to make it up somehow. And ferrying some people down to Olton is not too bad.
okay. So you're out of pocket as it is.
Yeah. Well, we're not
So,
very rich,
Are you
sir, I'm
open? Are
afraid.
you open
We
to
don't have a.
negotiation on the price?
What's the price that you would consider?
What's the price you're asking?
This is about standard 10 gold to ferry people from place to place.
10 gold.
Yeah, we're struggling at the moment. I'm not sure we can muster 10 gold each.
There's a couple of us that don't eat her much, and we don't take up much space.
Yeah, we can work while we can help out.
Make a persuasion check, Hatter.
Pay our way.
I have like no
Persuasion.
persuasion. That's the only thing I remember.
I'm not working on a boat ride.
Damn it, Dougie.
I'll be vomiting off the side the whole time.
I'll bloody
Ooh, that's a
I'll
good
man the
persuasion.
sails and I'll do whatever I do.
That's good persuasion.
Should we all do like a persuasion check or whatever?
No, since Hatter's the one trying to get the price lower, it would be him predominantly.
Oh, he's got a 27.
He goes, I might be able to go a bit lower on the price, but I do not like people I don't know working on my ship. I hope you understand.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we won't work. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Well,
fine.
let's
You can
not work for sure.
I can
do your thing.
I can do 9 gold a person.
Yeah, we'll go for that.
Yeah, it's fine.
No.
But you got to
Alright.
teach me how to tie knots because I'm not really good at it. So that's what I learn out of curiosity.
I think I can get my first mate to show you the ropes.
Nice. Nice.
I see what you did there.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Trent messaged me earlier and he demanded that I ask that question. Thanks, Trent. No, he didn't.
Okay.
100 lashes off the port bow.
Okay. So we minus 10 gold from our account.
9
Nine.
9. Sorry.
gold. 9.
Sarah will not have any of her coins be taken more than they should. Oh yeah, I probably should modify her coinage then. So it was 1 gold for the stay, and it's 9 gold, so she's down to 90. Which,
I'm broke.
well, not necessarily broke for like a common person, which is like you're probably set up for another 2 to 3 years if you live frugally. But for an adventurer, you are so broke. You are so broke.
I like how your weight automatically adjusts once you lose money. That's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, that is really cool. But like the half plate that you got, just standard half plate by itself, is 750 gold pieces a piece.
Oh
So,
shit.
You're
Yeah,
holding.
You're pretty rich.
Sarah's wearing like the equivalent of a small town's GDP.
Nice.
Yeah.
Fits me well.
And she's still saying she's broke, and everyone's like rolling their eyes. They're like, "Yeah, you're broke, Sarah." Oh,
Well,
okay.
magical items in D&D are rather expensive, even in 5e, because they're the equivalent of like high-end technology.
Mm.
When's the earliest we can leave?
It's getting toward evening. I do not prefer to start a launch at night. I try to avoid it, though circumstances have changed in my mind on certain occasions. But I would say early tomorrow morning.
Can we buy you a drink while we're here?
Unfortunately, I still have other business to attend to, and I don't like drinking with business.
Okay.
A captain that doesn't drink.
I feel like we should follow him. Is that weird? I want to see what he's doing.
What the fuck?
You can follow him if you want.
You don't
I
follow
just
this
want to
man.
make sure he's not like shady as fuck.
Okay. Well, you go yourself, Sarah, because you can hide and take noots
Yeah,
and
you're
crannies.
tiny, yeah. Plus, we're all just gonna go drinking, so.
Okay, if you want to follow him, Sarah, you can. I'm going to need. Oh, I'll roll the stealth check for you because I forgot. Yeah.
Okay.
With the half plate, you do roll with disadvantage.
Okay.
3. Is that good? That's not
So, this very loud clanking of you as you fly with your armor going around, clunk, 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 clunk. So he's just like walking down the streets, and you see this ferry just float across, and you just hear kind of like 2 pans knocking together as she goes by.
Can I turn back because I'm not doing so hot?
Oh, the thing about stealth checks is that when you roll a natural 1, you think you're hiding like a boss, but you're really not. So it's your perception of, man, I'm doing fantastic, but everyone else knows that you're not.
Oh shit.
So I would say that it is kind of still loud in the thing, and it kind of starts to blend in to the ambient noise. It's just that he may not notice, but everyone else has definitely noticed the clanking fairy that's flying around.
Awesome.
So you see him, he goes to a couple of stores, he purchases some really banal items, he has conversations with 2 to 3 people. You're following him for like 30-40 minutes. Man, this dude's boring as sin. And then he takes a turn into a dark corner. And as you go over to the alley, you look, and the alley's a dead end, but he's gone.
Huh. Okay, I want to fly to like the end where it ends and like investigate the wall.
But fly quietly, or sneak quietly.
I would say you would have gotten your stealth under control by now.
Okay.
So, you are going to investigate. Okay, so you look around and it looks like a wall. It's pretty solid. You check all over. It's like, man, he just evaporated into thin air. And then you hear this, and you duck behind in the corner, and like one of the barrels that you had passed swings out, and there's stairs that go down into like a basement area, and you hear human voices, one of which sounds like Captain Dawson, and he comes up and puts his hat on his head and says, I'll make sure the shipment gets in on time. Don't you worry. And he slides it back into place, and it kind of clicks into place, and he stretches a little bit, and he walks out of the alley. Do you follow him?
No.
Okay.
So
he
you want to
walks
see
off.
you want to see who's come out. Yeah, but you want to see who comes out.
No, because I want to go look on the ship and see what he's shipping.
Yeah, I think the shipment might be us.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, maybe we should wait and see who he was talking to, like Dougie said.
That's a good idea. Okay, I want to wait and.
Is that an
see who-
investigation thing, or?
How will I know who each person is? I'm not gonna know who they are. Unless
It
it's
didn't sound like it was. It sounded like there was 2 people talking.
Well, I know that, but how would I recognize the person?
That would be the one that comes out.
Have I got
Yeah.
skill traits to help? Have I?
Unless it's
Unless somebody else goes in.
But anyways, I'll wait and see who it is that comes out, and then follow that person. Maybe.
Unless you want to go open
it's
unless you want to go in and open the door and have a look, go slide in.
As you're hiding behind some like discarded rags in the corner, like got the thing up like it's a blanket, kind of peeking over, a figure comes into the end of the alleyway, and they're hooded, they're heavily wrapped, and they go right up to the barrel, kind of squeeze it a little bit, and the door swings open, and he walks down.
Is the door still a little ajar?
The door is still open. It might close any second. You don't know.
Can I slip in? I want to try.
Go in.
Okay. Let's see. Yeah, I say you'd be able to, because you know where it is, and you're a fast little bugger. You can get in there. Oh, your speed is 10? That's strange. Okay.
Is that slow?
I think that's probably wrong, but I would say that you'd be
Slow
able to
is
get in
better.
there quite easily. You go,
Okay.
and you get in there, and I forgot about that.
Do we have some sort of communication spell to cast over the party as you talk to each other while separated? I have no idea.
You actually, since you're a third level fairy, you can actually cast invisibility on yourself at will.
How long does it last?
If I remember correctly, according to invisibility, the spell is like an hour.
Oh hell
Oh wait,
yeah!
no. Hang on.
Oh.
Let me look that up. You can if you concentrate on it, it's up to 1 hour.
Okay, let's do it.
All right, so zoom. You fly in, invisible,
It's like a rat.
and you kind of get down. Even though you're invisible, you're still kind of hiding, and you see um, the heavily wrapped figure. I am here about my shipment. And the response is like the shipment's coming in. We're juggling a couple of things back. Some things had fallen through, but there should be a still an important amount of it, despite that portion of it had been lost at sea. Fine. The sea creatures are very dangerous in that area. I know. It comes with the territory. Uh, and what about friends of interest? The response is something along the lines of, "Oh yes, they're still at the bar. They sound like they're going to be shipping off in the next day or two." Very good, very good. Uh, Please keep me updated. Thank you. And the heavily wrapped figure leaves and goes back up the thing. You see a very kind of cluttered, kind of office-like area. It looks like it's a series of workbenches tied together, mixed with your average paper pusher's location. And there's people going in and out, and you get the feeling that this is where the shady stuff kind of goes down.
Yeah.
And
Bart kind of gave that away.
yeah, there's definitely a level of crime to this that I don't know if you're comfortable with it, but it's like, yeah, these guys are smugglers.
Mm-hmm.
This seems like they're dealing in information and other things.
Do I recognize the hooded figure's voice as the translator? Because it sounds exactly like it.
Why, yes, it was the translator.
Oh shit! Nice work.
And you just feel your face like light up with shock. It's like, I know that voice, and it's all invisible, and so it's weird, but
Okay, I want to go back and report it to my peoples.
okay. So when the people their backs are turned, you carefully unhitch the thing and slip out and close the thing. It's like, whew, made it. And you fly back to the tavern. You've been gone probably an hour and a half with all this, and the rest of the party's kind of they're really in their cups by now. But you know that they're used to understanding things. And you come in, and it's like, at some point you drop your invisibility.
That'd be great if she left it on, and she's like, "You guys won't believe what has happened." And we're like,
Fucking hell!
Who said that?
Okay, so you've gone back to them. What do you do?
I tell them to like huddle together so I can whisper what I found out, so that no one overhears.
Okay,
That...
you do have a set of private rooms here that you could use, or you can just find a quiet corner.
Oh, I guess let's go up to one of the private rooms.
Let's all go to Sarah's room.
Fine. Let's go to my room.
And huddle together.
So you're in the private. You check around and make sure that there's no really easy ways to be listened in on, and you don't find anything, and everyone's kind of in the room.
Okay, and I tell them that the man who asked us the questions, the interpreter was the guy, is looking for us, I guess, or watching us, interested in us for some reason, and knows that we're about to leave, and wants to be updated with our, whereabouts, I guess, and I have no idea why. So, and obviously we're dealing with like a smuggling operation, so there's gonna be some shady shit. and we're probably gonna die or something. And yeah,
Maybe they know about the orb, or they suspect that we're heading south to
well,
find the orbs.
They're either following us or they want to. They said something along the lines earlier about the sea creatures devouring crew.
Mm.
So they're either going to drop us off and pop us in the water, or
I say take over the ship by force.
we'll be.
well,
we'll just
I'm
have-
kind of with Jonah Bob there at the moment, but maybe wait till we've what just like what?
Kill everyone.
Yeah, but we need we still don't know how to drive the ship ourselves, so.
I mean,
So
we
it's a
can. I mean, there was other captains we could use if we really have to.
No, Trent said we didn't like them or something.
Yeah.
That you didn't like them, and they didn't like you, and some of them were just like, I would not trust this man on the dinghy.
Okay. So we're
So
kind of
it's-
stuck with this guy.
We're stuck with this one, so.
Gotta do it. We don't know if he's gonna kill us. Maybe he just has to like, take us there and keep an eye on us.
I mean,
That's
yeah,
not much better.
he's a smuggler. He's just moving
He's not a killer.
cargo, so I guess he's basically moving us to
Exactly.
someone
But
else's
what if he tries to
problem.
sell us?
Well, then
Kill him.
we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
Yeah.
My favorite permutation of that phrase is, we'll burn that bridge when we come to it.
Yeah,
Exactly.
as we're in water, let's burn it. Burn it all.
I'm alive when I get the chance.
We'll burn the ship when we come to it. If we come to it.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's just play it cool. We'll
We'll play it
Yeah.
cool. We'll get on the boat. We'll get on the boat.
And it's all dandy. But be suspicious.
Yeah.
People out there.
Get John and Bob. You keep your javelin lightning
He's
ready
holding his axe.
and your
up his
axe.
I've got 4 javelins, remember?
One for each hand.
Oh,
head. I don't know how that works.
We're all thinking about that.
There are creatures that have 4 arms in D&D. They're just not here.
I have 4 arms. You don't see me showing off.
Oh, sexy 4 arms. Anyway, so do you guys turn in for the evening? Do you?
Yeah, I think we've sobered up now after that news, and we'll hit the hay and get ready for the morning, and then we'll get on the boat and we'll take it.
Yeah.
as-
We'll all act super cool.
Yeah.
We don't know anything. We're just.
You guys get up. You have breakfast. It just ekes out the last of that gold that you had paid for your night stay, and Captain Dawson comes in and he says, should the ship is ready and prepared to depart. If you would kindly follow me, we can move as soon as you are ready. The sooner the better.
We're ready to go.
We're ready. Yeah.
we should red wedding them the second. Like, we should wait until dinner time. Like, if everyone eats together in the quarters, or wait until then, and then once everyone sits down and starts eating, we just open up and start butchering people left, right, and centre.
It'll be so much fun.
Oh my God, it's like living. I don't know. You should be in an institution.
He is a classical murder hobo.
Yeah.
They are rife. They are rife in certain parts of D&D, and they're very, very looked down upon in certain circles because in certain places of old style D&D, the only way you could get experience to advance in levels was to kill things. And in other variations, experience was weighed by how much gold you have, because for every gold was an experience point, and so people were super money hungry. And it's evolved over some time. I personally think that combat and stuff like roleplay all adds toward your experience.
I just don't trust us not to be sold.
I don't either, but I think we should start until we're, near the end rather than in the middle of the ocean.
Okay, do you know what? We'll wait until we can see land.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like they're basically delivery men. So they're just going to deliver us somewhere, but once we get there, then we can figure out if we have to fight or not.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't think they're going to kill us on the boat because they're smugglers. They're not going to.
Okay, let's say I'll take you guys at your word. I won't kill anyone, but if
I think
if
so.
anything happens to me, it's you.
See, go downstairs and see if there's any downstairs in the boat, and see if there's any place that would, after when we get our accommodation, and see if there's anywhere that they would, like a brig or anything like that would hold us.
Well, there obviously is going to be a brig. It's a ship.
I mean, we are going to which port are we going to? Is it this port?
Yes, you're going to a place called Healot.
Okay.
Trent, I have passive wisdom 9. What's that?
Let me look at the things. Passive wisdom, passive perception is kind of like how aware you are of the situation around you.
Oh.
So like, if you know what's going on behind you, something like that.
Okay, so let's go board the boat then and have a wee wander around.
And we'll try and stifle Jotterbox Crazy for a bit.
No,
I'm just trying to protect
we may need it.
I know, it's like, I feel like we should have him on a leash. He's like the attack dog.
I mean, I'm sure he'll enjoy that, but
That's true.
Only in real life.
So let's out the boat. Let's cue the epic music.
It reminds me of a terrible pickup line that I might share at some point. But anyway, so you guys follow Captain Dawson. He leads you to this very nice ship. It's got paintings of blue on it. It's very, of course, ocean themed, but it's a really high end ship. 3 masts. It seems like it's built for speed, but it's still resilient in the way. You cross the gangplank, and he ushers you on board. And once, like, the moment the last person's foot leaves the gangplank, it's up, and people are weighing anchor, and they're starting to be piloted out of the pier area out into the open ocean.
Okay.
This is the type of money, the type of quality of ship that you can only get from selling people.
I plan on investigating the ship and see what the cargo they have too.
Yeah, and also how many crew they have in total.
And if the crew is, heavily armed and all that kind of stuff.
Okay. Then I need investigation checks.
Okay.
Right.
Oh my god. If Jonah Bob's right, I'm just gonna kill myself.
Okay. Dougie, you know that you're on a ship, but you're not really sure.
Well,
that is impressive.
Oh, sorry.
So, Paul, this is a ship. It's pretty well outfitted. You've not really dealt with ships a lot, but this looks like a good ship.
Should at least
Sarah,
go aware than Dougie. Like, right,
Sarah, you start poking around, and you're a tiny thing. You can find a lot of things. There are a number of things below deck that are under canvas, tightly wrapped. You look around. There's like normal shipping and traveling supplies and other things.
I don't look under the canvas.
I'm getting to the canvas.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Under the canvas, there is to you they kind of look like wooden carriages, but they have these round, large metal tubes on them. And you looking at like the crew, you've seen fighting men before, and these guys are a few steps above that, and they seem to have like scimitars and knives and other things like tucked in and about their person while they work around, and they just seem at a very high level of readiness and preparedness, and they are scarily fit.
No, that's not.
Do
Can I
we
stealth
That's
kill them all
guys.
in their
They have their
sleep?
shirts on.
do we have any poison to put them to sleep? Or,
Yeah, did you ask
I have a
Xanthos
poisonous kit.
eh?
I have a poison.
Is the captain a human?
Captain Johannes Dawson is human, correct?
And is the rest of the
Is
queue
he
human?
Is he counted as a creature? Are humans counted as creatures, or are they?
Creatures are more like what spell are you looking at?
I'm looking at concentration, where you suggest a
Concentration.
course of activity, limited to a sentence for two,
Oh,
and
suggestion.
influence them. Oh, is that? It says concentration. Suggestion.
Is it that? Okay, so we have suggestion.
Oh, you're right. It is. Sorry. Yeah, I saw concentration was ticked.
Yes, it is a concentration spell, but suggestion is yes. You can use that on somebody. Yes.
So, as in
Okay.
on the captain, I could use it.
You could ostensibly use it on the captain. Yes.
What would you do?
I want him to write down what his plans is for us, or what his plan is for us
Would that
on
work?
this trip.
But also he wouldn't remember
Yeah.
what he wrote.
Let's
Yeah, and he forgets any
You know, it's funny how
memory of
massively
what he
paranoid we all
thinks
are.
so. I wasn't.
As
I
opposed
wasn't
to,
paranoid.
let's
until you
just
guys
kill them
started
all.
Talking about it.
I was paranoid.
so the
paranoid
description of
possessing
suggestion
power.
is you suggest a course of activity limited to a sentence or two and magically influence the creature. The creature can't be charmed or immune to this effect. The suggestion must be worded in a course of actions if the course of action sounds reasonable. Asking the creature to stab itself, throw itself on a spear. Okay, so you can't cause it to self-harm. You have to. The character makes a wisdom saving throw, and your spell DC is 15. Okay, so you casting suggestion on the captain.
Yeah. I just want
And you
to.
want-
I just want him to write down, what his plan is for us. If he's going to drop us off with no harm is going to be done to us.
Just
Yeah.
to tell us the whole plan. Everything.
Yeah, tell
Yeah. And
Good
anything
idea.
that we're involved in.
Everything that he knows.
Write the whole thing down. Yeah.
And then
Okay,
forget about
so-
it. Forget about it
The
instantly.
second.
After he's written it.
Oh. He has resisted by rolling a natural 20 plus 3 your attempt to suggest to him.
Shit.
Uh-oh.
So you just kind of come up and it's like, hey man, why don't you just tell us everything you got planned? And he's like, I was planning on dropping you off at the location we agreed upon. Why are you asking this?
Well, this is awkward.
Nothing. Just making chit chat, shooting the breeze. I'm gonna head downstairs.
As an axe
This really is
would
how you
pass.
handle the situation.
Yeah.
as-
Good
as-
talk.
as a-
Sailor ship.
And he goes back to like sailing the ship.
I think we got away with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Whew. It was cool.
totally nailed that.
What?
Let me just
where's
jump overboard.
where's the was it, which one was it you used?
He used
I
suggestion.
use suggestion.
Are you about to use it then?
I don't have it anyway. So.
I don't know what I can use against. I mean, it's,
Do I have anything I can use, Trent?
I've got a 7
Oh.
I've got a 7 deception.
Let me
Intimidation.
let me check.
Are
Probably
we
gonna
gonna
have to
ask- are we
expand your
asking
spell
someone else,
sheets.
or are we going to ask the same guy?
Yeah. Are we all just gonna line up next to him?
Yeah.
So what's your plan here? And he's like, I don't know. I'm just gonna drop
You
off.
do not have
Is-
anything that would be similar to suggestions.
Is there a first mate? Did we meet a first mate on the board?
Oh,
Uh,
flipping
Can I sneak into it?
Paul, can
Um,
you change? You can like disguise yourself, can't you, to look like people?
I was going to suggest, can I sneak into his quarters and hide somewhere and see if he overhears something? I don't know.
Or Sarah could pop invisible and then go into
Yeah,
the
that's it. I
quarters
would've
and
just
then have a look around any of his paperwork.
That's a great idea. I would like to do that.
okay.
He's got that paperwork for like what? He's shipping maybe.
All right. So
He's
you
a-
pop
He's a
invisible.
smuggler, though. Does he keep paperwork?
Yeah.
I'll pop to the bar.
You pop invisible and you pop into
Captain's quarters.
the captain's quarters, and you only have an hour for this to last. So I say it probably takes you 10 minutes to get in there. So 50 minutes, and you'll revert back.
Okay.
So
look-
the
At his desk first. On top of his
Okay.
desk. On top of his desk first, and then in the drawers.
so you're searching his drawers.
Mm-hmm. Normal.
Oh crap! 5 investigation. That was an unfortunate roll. There's papers, and the papers on the top of the desk are shipping manifests and things like that, and sealed ink places. And you start looking through the drawers, and it all looks like what you expect to find in a captain's desk. There's just like, here's the stuff for ports of entry, here's the stuff for passports, and all sorts of things. Here's like, this is his business acumen that you're looking through.
Is there any sign of our voyage that he's shipping us?
There is, other than a piece of paper on top of like recent ones, which is deliver adventurers to Healat for a price of 9 gold apiece. There's nothing else that you
Okay.
can see.
Well, shit.
Wait, 9 gold? I paid 20.
Oh yeah, you paid 20 because you have a private berth,
Okay, just wanted to make sure that we got that.
which is literally a
Alright, Trent.
bunk built into the side that just has like a thing that a curtain that slides over.
That sounds brilliant.
Fancy. Okay. Fuck. Do I have time to look anywhere else?
I would say it wouldn't take you too long to do that. Yeah, you have time to look elsewhere in the
Okay.
captain's quarters.
In the room.
Okay, I'll make another investigation check because it's different.
I've got that onyx thing that and turns into animals and stuff, but I just realised I've got -1 animal handling. So that can't go
It
well.
doesn't require you to. Literally, it's just you toss it and it serves you and your party.
Mhm.
Okay, so you rolled a 19 this time. So you do a really thorough investigation. You probably have 20 minutes left on your invisibility, and you find there's nooks and crannies where he's got stuff hidden, mostly a couple of coins, a few looks like a couple of daggers placed over the thing, like just in case, like if he's buck ass naked and suddenly he gets attacked, he has something he can reach for. There's spare coats and shoes, and there's his sea chest that you check out, and it all seems like normal traveling things for him. And you do find a couple of bags of like these really nice gems, and they're secreted away like under his headboard. And as you're just kind of getting everything, you can hear thud, thud, thud as someone's coming up to the captain's door.
Okay, I want to fly to the wall. That like where you know how like a door swings open. I wanna
Yeah,
be on the
behind
wall
there.
to where- yeah, like to where the door swings open, so I can go around it really quick before it closes.
Okay,
Oh.
so you're going to be on the side that's not going to be covered by the door as the door opens, so you can just like slip out.
As he goes in, as he opens the door to come in, you're scooting out. It's either that or you stay in.
I can't stay because my invisibility is about to go up.
Yeah. So as soon as he opens the
All right.
door, you floop out, and when he shuts the door, then you're on the right side.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah. Mhm.
So you hide up next to the door. The door opens. Captain Dawson comes in, kind of goes in, and you just duck out of there. Little feet going as fast as they can.
I'm not
And
flying.
oh yeah, you fly just a little bit.
Just feels like a lot of work as a run.
And you hear the little buzz of the wings. All right, and you go back and you tell the rest of the party, like, other than like normal stuff that you would hide, it doesn't look like he's not planning to murder us.
Yeah, squat. Oh my god.
Well, there's nothing written down.
Exactly, which is yeah. I don't know. This is like
That
even
makes
more
it even more
that we're
suspicious.
fucking nothing.
Can I? Have I got an animal that I can put in his quarters?
Well, I would think.
Don't have an animal I can handle.
I would wait. I would wait.
I
I would have your animal ready to fling, but I wouldn't use it now.
No, I was thinking like a fly or something something overnight. I don't know.
You would have to be like a druid in order to be able to do that.
Okay.
But unfortunately, the last druid you encountered was Brufula Vushu.
Hmm.
Okay.
Okay, I pass.
Does anyone else want to do anything while they're on this little voyage?
I'm gonna kick back with a beer in my private room.
Okay.
I wanna.
I'd like to look around the boat just generally.
Yeah,
I think.
generally look around the boat.
Okay. That's going to be an investigation check for both of you.
Oh Christ!
You know, I already did that. Didn't I?
Well, you looked around. Well, you did look around the boat, yes, but they could still, look around
Fine.
themselves.
Bless you, Karen.
Shoot.
I will use one disguise kit
What?
to look like a sailor.
He's got better investigation.
Okay,
And
so you
prank
look like
Paul and Dougie because they're gonna walk past me. They won't even notice me and be like, "Lads, it's me, you fools."
What have you done, sorry?
he's
I
looked like a satyr.
disguised myself like a sailor.
Ah, okay.
Just it's just a prank. Don't worry about it.
It's just a prank, bro.
So go up to the captain
Yeah.
and say, "When
Pranked
you're
it.
grabbing, boss."
There's a camera over here.
But my perception word salad.
Okay. All right. So,
perception really
Dougie
good.
and Paul, you search around. You look around the boat. There's some weird things under canvas, under the below deck, and there's a couple of them above deck as well. But for the most part, it looks like a ship to you.
What's under the canvas?
Under the canvas is a wooden carriage with a strange metal tube attached.
Metal tube.
It's open at one end and it's closed at the other.
Are you gonna look at that, Dougie?
Yeah, if there's no one around, yeah. Do I have to?
Well, there are a number of people. These old ships could hold a surprisingly large amount of people. But yeah, you can try to look at it.
Can I pick the lock?
Do I do investigate again? Do I?
Yeah. My God. So
Oh,
you look at
God.
it some more. It's a weirdly crafted metal tube, and there's like this little hole at the back, and there's a big hole in the front, and it's attached to something that kind of looks like a wagon. And you're like, what the hell is this thing? And it also has ropes that attach it to the wall, and there's like these little tracks that the wheels go into, and you're like, this looks so cool. I have no idea what it is.
Looks like a tank.
Yeah, is it a fucking cannon?
Well, I was thinking that cannon.
out of character and what your characters would not know, but yes, this is a canon.
Yeah.
Is there any chance of me like opening it? What would I need to look at to open it, or at least?
If I know my cartoons, you climb in from the front of it.
Quite literally, the way to open a can is to look down one end, because there's literally just a tube with a hole in one side and a little hole on the other side.
Okay, forget that. Relay that order. I just don't know what I'm doing.
And is just the one cannon, or is there more than one?
There are a number of these things on the various decks.
Oh.
We're on a fucking pirate ship.
But they're not. They're being transported. They're not.
They're up against the wall and they're covered in canvas, and there does seem to be like a door built into the wall of the boat right around where they are.
So they can use it as defense.
I guess yeah, they're prepared for pirates, I guess,
Or sea creatures.
or sea creatures. Yeah.
You sounded way
That'd be
too
cool.
excited about that.
I'm very excited about that.
Oh, really?
Mhm.
Scared might get to actually do some combat with us.
Ooh, yeah. I'm gonna have to set that up then.
Is that
So
next episode? Is it?
That's gonna be next episode. It's getting close to
Next
dinner time for
time.
me,
You get boarded.
so I'm gonna wrap it up here. I will stay on a little bit because whether I have dinner or not right now is kind of up in the airs. Oh, thoughts, concerns, suggestions. There's the general bullcrapping afterwards. We're gonna end the session here on this mysterious boat captained by Dawson and his crew. All right.
Will they betray us? Will they not?
Ooh,
Who knows?
Find out next time on
They
Sham.
kill them all anyway.
Bollocks Part 4. A sea fetish. Yep. Thank you very much for playing. 86.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Sarah.
Trent.
You're welcome.
Yeah, cheers, Trent.
Jordan Bob.
That was a-
Job once again, sir.
a solid
And yeah,
dungeon
so
master.
Trent. Also, if you are interested, Trent does his own D&D streams on, is it Gamer's Tale?
Yep, the Gamer's Tale. On
The Gamer's
YouTube.
Tale on YouTube. Search it out. I'll stick
Most
a-
Wednesdays at 7 Central, which is like 6 in the morning for the, or 3 for the UK people. Where you get to see the rest of this world from an entirely different perspective.
the